All right, we're back in session after lunch. Start with the consent agenda, approve payroll and approve year-end vouchers.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as listed.
Second.
Improving second to approve the consent agenda as listed. Any further discussion?
Yes,
Yes, good.
Mr. Chair, I choose to abstain from voting. That there is a voucher is paying me in the middle of, in this. It's minor $100 worth of material that the county purchased from me, so I will abstain.
And with Commissioner Teal abstaining. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We're a little early, but we could get started with the county assessor. Barry call. Go ahead, you get started. Just make sure you keep the mic close, talk loud.
Okay, County Commissioner, Chairman, thank you. This budget is pretty much the same as last year. We made some cuts. For example, temporary employee wages. That's for the folks out there in the hall signing people up for exemptions. Very popular with the taxpayers, but we kept it around $10,000 rather than the 19,800. So we were pretty proud of that and dropped the budget down to 12,000, actually expecting it to be busier this year. You'll notice, of course, that down below under education, that we didn't meet our budget last year. That's because they held a class in Cody, in which we took advantage of by sending 6 staff members to, but they won't be holding a class in Cody this year, so we had to bring that back up. There's an increase of 1,000 in materials and supplies because we had some damaged equipment, including a laser that is rather expensive for measuring. And contracts are down from what we budgeted last year because we brought in a consultant last year from the IAAO, which we do not have to do because the information we gathered from them will last us several years as we wade through that. Any questions?
Any questions for the assessor?
I'm not sure it's for you or in general, but I'm looking at last year's budget. And am I reading this correct, Steve? We're 40,000 over
For the assessors budget?
for the assessors
No, they are at this point 24,000 under
in the good.
Last year.
to the good, yes.
Mhm.
If you look right, the difference between
Here,
25, 26 is 24, 293.
24,293. This is last year. Page 15.
That's what their budget is.
Yeah.
Oh, what-
Negative sign. He's going to the line below that, Steve,
difference
which
is
is
over
total
24.
budget stuff, I think.
Total, there's 40,000
Oh.
under budget.
Under budget.
That would be the difference.
Okay.
Okay. The parentheses mean over.
Parentheses good.
So the year, just for my own simple education, then moving that to the year before that. Where there's not parentheses, were we over?
The prior years do not have the difference
Oh.
column in there, so it's just
Okay.
budgeted and expended. They were under
I
prior year also.
it just, yeah, I'd have to do, okay. All right, sorry. I'm just learning still, every year
That's supposed to be a good thing, Commissioner. Always be learning.
Old school.
yeah, and first 6 years in Clark. So.
Any other questions?
No, I appreciate you lowering where you could and taking a good hard look at it. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Terry.
This was
Made it simple on you. We
Yeah.
usually get the first one. That's not usually the next on the line.
I was trying to get my glasses.
Mhm.
Not sure that the judging.
Temporary employee wages.
What's his budget number?
Is it 14:30?
Let's see, this assessor. Yeah, I'm talking about district court, oh, 1221. Oh, that's clerk of district court, 1222. Right, 1222.
What page is it?
Page 9.
Page 9.
Corner while we're sitting. Yeah, they don't pay near as much. They talk about we have. Yeah. Half of them.
Well, just a question for you guys on that, computer technology equipment hardware. Is that gonna go away now? With
What?
that, the computer equipment and hardware
On which?
or technology on a district court judge?
Is it gonna go away now? Cause why?
Andrew probably needs to answer that because of the agreements with the state. I'm not sure what all came out of that agreement. He is on his way down.
Yeah.
Corn, was a good number.
Your next
Your Honor, you're up.
Well, I had it down at 1:30, so. Run a little early, but,
We're just really efficient.
well, I might have been running late.
But you're good.
Okay, great. Thank you. How you doing? Very good.
All right, Your Honor, what do you have for us?
Well, I tell you, I reviewed the budget and just like the national debt, it's troubling. No, I'm just kidding. It looks good. Going over it, I think for next year, believe it or not, this will be my last appearance before you as a judge. I'm forced to retire, but probably better than the alternative in February of 2027. So, but in reviewing it, I think we had about $8,694.50 that we still have outstanding with the county, and that's just for payment for some additional legal fees, expenses, et cetera. I think as far as the budget and what's been allocated, we've tried to come under, and I think we have each and every time we've appeared before you. I don't think there's any issue there. It's always hard to gauge what's going to happen. I can't tell whether or not we're going to have more cases, less cases. I don't have any control over that. We just have to deal with what they bring before us. But I do know that Mr. Davis will retire with me next year, and he's been invaluable because he does all the court commissioner work at no charge whatsoever. So you're definitely going to have some more expenses with court commissioner work because he'll be, whoever it is, they'll be submitting separate vouchers to you for that work. That court commissioner work can take the form of maybe juvenile matters on initial appearances, Title 25, involuntary committals, that type of thing. So, and I don't know, whoever the next judge is, he or she, we have a checklist and we have a complete summary of all of our updated cases. So that judge, when they come in, they'll know exactly what's out there, what isn't. They'll know what the previous budget practice was. And so hopefully they can kind of hit the ground running. The Title 25 appointments, those are involuntary committal. They're all confidential. We have to get second opinions on those sometimes through a trained psychiatric professional. That costs money, but thus far, I think those costs have gone down significantly during the time that I've been here. I know definitely the guardian ad litem has gone from an average, believe it or not, 10 years ago of maybe $150,000-$200,000 a year down to less than 30.
Hmm.
So that was one of the first things we tried to address, and we were able to get that down to a reasonable number. You'll see there's a lot of expenses sometimes on the jury summonses. What happens is, we do have scheduling orders in district court. We send those out, usually on criminal cases, sometimes civil. But we try to set a deadline to get these cases resolved if we can. But, unfortunately, sometimes just doesn't work out. So a jury is polled. We have to go through the cost and expense of that with the clerk of the district court. And then we also have to go ahead and get the bailiffs sometimes paid as well if they're canceled at the last minute. We probably had 3 criminal trials in the last 4 months. They were canceled on the 11th hour. That cost the county some money, but at least it gets the cases moving. We get them done, but we've tried our best to get them in and try to get them with a written plea agreement, but it hasn't always worked out. But with the new judge, we have a revised scheduling order that'll hopefully clean some of that up and make sure that we don't have these last minute cancellations. I think that probably it's not anything excessive, but it does show up. Guardian ad litem fees, as noted, they were much lower than the previous years. I don't really see that changing. I think it's going to stay low, and you'll have a better idea. Public defender, once again, that has to go to the state. That was about $89,596. That's really non-negotiable. We can't, that has to be paid. We don't have many court reporter fees for cases assigned for judges on various cases, but we do have a remote court reporter. She's worked with us remotely from Northern California for 4 years now. And she's handled all kinds of cases, long civil trials, criminal cases, does an incredible job. She's got everything up to date and current on any transcript for appeals to the Supreme Court. So that's helped us as well. But really, that's all I had on a report. If there are any questions I can answer, I'm here. So whatever you.
Commissioner Overfield?
I guess Judge Simpson, as you mentioned with the court commissioner, that could change during this budget season. And we really have $1,000 there. Is there something that we should be looking at so that if there's any anticipation that something's going to have to be paid there, do we want to at least look at something there now or wait?
As I say, it's just so hard to tell, it's like they say, you can't predict what human beings are going to do. I don't know what's out there.
What's the
but
norm?
I do know that, there are certain, sometimes we get these in waves on Title 25s. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I probably need one, but I'm not one. But I can tell you that sometimes the holiday seasons, stressful times of year, we see a lot of these cases come up, but you never read about them, you never see them because they are confidential for a reason. But it's such an essential service because many times these people are absolutely they're at wit's end, and they're going to do harm to themselves or others. So I think at this point, I really can't predict. I know it's more. I really believe it'll be more than what's budgeted, and I would ask maybe that it be increased by a couple $1,000s at least, just to have that available. And if not used, at least it's not a significant offset, but
Commissioner Overfield, if you just look at the history,
Mhm.
we went from 12,000 to 0 to 4,500 to 2,500. So 1,000 is, I would say it would be low.
Yeah.
Too low, yeah, it's pretty, that's why I was
Might be
worried about getting through the
3.5.
budget year with that offset, even if we put it at 5,000. Maybe we'd be closer to where we need to be and not affect the bottom line too bad.
So historically, we've been under on many of the other lines.
Right,
There you go.
yeah, I don't know.
Legal service.
You could cover that decrease or that increase if there were an increase, you cover that out of those other lines down below.
Or
Specifically that public defender LID seems to be one that's historically lower. Just saying.
Mhm.
and I think on that public defender rental fee, and I apologize about this, I do the best I can, but with the public defender's office, they've had some changes. They're going to get a new supervisor of the public defender's office. And we did visit with the head of the program from Cheyenne. And I've told their office before, look, you've got to get those in every month because it's just not, and unfortunately they don't. And so we have to call them and then they come in bunches every, it's 3-4 months of payment. And I'm sure you see those payments and it's quite high. So last week I did tell the public defender's office, I said, look, I'm going to talk to the commissioners, but if you don't get those in on time, they're not going to be paid. It's that simple. So, and I just haven't, taken that hardline stance, but there's really no reason. It's very routine. It's rote. It's easy to do. It never changes. Just get it in. But hopefully with the new supervisor, and I'll know that next week, I can sit down with them and just say, this is important. I got to have it. If you don't get it in, if I can just use your acknowledgement or your confirmation, I'm just going to tell them that the commissioners are like, if you don't get it in time, it may not be paid. So I'll let them know that.
I think you can tell them that.
Well, you can tell them. That doesn't mean they're gonna be able to.
Mr. Chair, Judge, the court costs and fees, we can never get that right? I mean, we're off when we pick high, it comes in low or vice versa. So
Exactly. Yep.
I'm hoping the trend continues where we're wrong, where you got 60,000 and we'll go back to 24. So
No, you're right. If I could give you any kind of legitimate projection on that, I would, but it's just.
you just don't know.
Not possible.
Yeah.
But,
Understood.
it's, it'll be an interesting transition for the county. I've talked to Brian about it. Brian's been county attorney, I think our longest serving county attorney, 23 years. New county attorney, whoever that is, potentially new staff, new judge. So, in our memo to the new judge, we've just indicated, commissioners are always there. And I want to tell you all that I really appreciate it. You've been nothing but good to me in our office, and anything we needed, you've always been very receptive. I know we had a couple of those trials that we thought would go. They didn't. They were disposed of on motions, but that case is coming back from the Supreme Court. So it won't go anywhere. And I still suspect you're going to have a judge come to you and say, we may need to use an alternate facility, and ask for the commissioner's help to get that case tried. But no, it's really been a pleasure working with all of you, and it's great. I wish I didn't have to leave, but they tell me I do. So you don't have to leave, but you can't stay here. So I'm gone. So. But just so you know, too, this is kind of interesting because with the governor, obviously, Mark Gordon is not running again. So they will select the final 3 probably sometime in late November. So I have to submit a letter of resignation at the end of August, which is usually about 3 months beforehand. And obviously they want to do that because the governor will make that selection. And if not, it would be the new governor in January. So, but we'll let you know as soon as it comes in. I probably, whoever he or she is, will maybe come down to the commissioners just to introduce them to you so you'll know who they are. And,
So we'll have a short-term judge and a short-term county attorney. Is what?
yes, lame duck, I think. Is the
Oh,
term.
lame
Lame
there we
duck.
go.
Yeah, that's it.
Your Honor, Will, we appreciate it and appreciate working with you in law enforcement in the here. Will there be any transformation period where you'll be able to sit down with them? Is there going to be will they appoint them earlier, or do they wait till you leave, or?
That's a great point, Sheriff and Commissioner, and I'll tell you, and really, I say this sometimes, and I think sometimes we don't talk about these things, and I always regret that I don't, but I can't thank you all enough. I've said it before, these are tough, difficult jobs. You're always out there on the front line. I can always hide behind the judicial aspect and say, sorry, I can't talk to you. Well, you don't have that luxury. It's night and day 24/7. And if you don't return their calls, then, they're angry. But, Sheriff, it's always been a pleasure. I think we have great law enforcement. I'm not in competition, but I'll tell you, your brother's a close second if he's not first. Okay?
He's
in terms of doing the job.
Second.
Oh, well, I know, but law enforcement does a tremendous job. And so many times you just don't see it. You don't hear about it because it never makes the public press. But what they do in some really tough situations, people really in tough extremities. And, we live in a blessed county. It's a great place. Crime is low, but that doesn't mean we don't have it.
Right.
And thank God we have people who know what they're doing, and our first responders are absolutely tremendous. But thanks, Sheriff. I mean that. I appreciate everything you did over the years, and it was always great working with you. And thank God you never arrested me. So for that,
Right.
not yet. For that, I feel blessed.
No statute of limitations.
That's right. That's right. That's true. Commissioner Mangold, I'm sorry. Can I just digress for a minute? I know that, when you did the courthouse renovation, and by the way, thank you. For the first time that I was ever in this courthouse, and my first year of practicing law was when this courthouse was finished. And even then, the heating didn't work. And even then, the AC was questionable. But what you did is tremendous. We have had heat, we've had air conditioning, and it's consistently there. And thank you for your foresight in doing it. But in the process of doing that, some things came about that were going to go in the trash. And Commissioner Mangold, I know you have that close connection with Powell and Judge Dixon, who was a district court judge. I'm the only one still alive who actually practiced before him years ago. And he was an amazing guy, quite a character. But I wanted you to have these items. I'm just going to present this to you. I apologize. I don't have one for each of the commissioners, but it was pretty sparse pickings in there.
Might have to get a picture of this. Is it gonna be Panther something Panther?
Well, Mr. Mangold, this is Judge Dixon's special letter box. He always had, yeah. And it's got a handy little drawer here for personal effects. And this is the two stamps that Judge Dixon would use repeatedly. Now, these are unique because obviously we don't use these anymore. But if you get a decent ink pad, you can use it. And I think you'll like this because one says personal and confidential. Now, who couldn't use one of these on their letter? And this one is my favorite, kind of a holdover from the Nixon era. This document does not exist. So here you go. And, congratulations.
I thought you were gonna give me one of the abstracts.
Well, I'm sorry, that's still up there. They bring back.
That'll go to the-
Want to be prepared.
that'll go to
but
the next guy.
congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, that'll be fine.
I want the one that says this document doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You can use it every once in a while.
That's it. Well, thank you all very much. Anything else?
Thank you.
So, thanks, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
for all
you.
your help.
Yeah.
Really, it's been a great pleasure, a great honor. Something I'll always treasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
So question, do we want to move that to 5,000 or keep it at 1?
If it's gonna cover, I don't have any problem. I just think everybody needs to be aware that that's a possibility.
And we wouldn't have to do a budget amendment because it'd still be
If
in
it's
the budget,
within
right?
the total, yeah, if nothing else goes over, should be fine.
That's the problem with that budget is
You never know.
you just never know.
Well, and Hans has a good point with the rents, because I've caught all the rents up this last run. And we'll come in under 15,000.
Okay.
I mean, should we take 5 from one of the other spots that's going,
It's
does
just
that
you
make more
guys.
sense in the budget, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, it's semantics. But we could make the court commissioner costs be 5 and the rental fees be 40.
That's what I think. I think that's cleaner than trying to remember.
It's more accurate.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing, is to put it where it goes, expense wise, and we don't know that it's only gonna be that, depends on what the new judge does.
Mhm.
It's very true.
So
So do you
you-
want to do that?
I do.
Okay,
I don't know what everybody else wants.
They were 5. Did it pretty well.
41. Okay, so that's still the same balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
We want to do a commissioner one while we're waiting? We have 15 minutes.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
so you wanna go to land and environment?
Yeah.
Move
Oh, boy,
What page, John?
I'm looking.
Well, you have
Land and environment is page 27.
you have Andy here already.
Well, yeah, but,
It's not till 3.
oh, he might be just listening. Okay, land and environment is 1932 and it's page 27. I guess the only thing that I would say there is we do have about 10, just under 10, I think, still owed to the consultant on the DSR. So that'll be coming out of next year as we finish up the last stuff around August 1 for the public hearings. I don't know of anything else. I think that takes care of the natural resource plan, the land use plan, DSR twice. I don't know of anything else that we were contemplating or the board was contemplating on updating as far as regulations or plans that we have out there. Do you, Lloyd, do you remember anything else that we've?
Where did, and I think it comes out of our commission, but I know that if we choose to do the congressional tour again, does that come out of
It
this?
came out of our budget.
Our commission.
Yeah, it wasn't out of here.
What's the R&R? Professional fees R&R.
Rules and regs is what
Okay.
it was. Yeah. What it
So
was
that's
called.
still.
That's the DSR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said we have
Yeah, I don't know.
10 left on that,
Yeah, we will have.
and we got 75 remaining. Is that right?
They left 50 in the budget,
Fifty.
just in case something else comes up on it. If it were to get held over or there were a lot of changes in between the P and Z and the commissioners, I guess there could be some
There just could
additional
be some
fees
free-
negotiated. It's just the end of the contracts, what I'm talking about. There's about 10 left.
Did Casey say something about?
Well, the roadless rule thing is gonna get hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, I thought of that too, but I don't think there's any expenses associated for us, just involvement, I mean.
Time.
More having to travel, so meetings.
Yeah, that's pretty much covered under the commissioners. Yeah, I can't think of what it would be.
Had something.
Right, right.
Think there was anything.
Mr. Chair, Steve, okay, so help me out here. So we do have to have a budget amendment on this land and environment from last year. Because that's 18,000 over, correct?
We will,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
We do.
So help me out with that again. How do we do that?
That'll all be done in the morning, that Tuesday morning. We amend everything on this and then we approve the new 26,
And we'll
27.
pick, and we'll hit all of them,
Yeah.
any, hopefully no others, but.
Yeah. And that's.
There'll be a couple others.
21st.
Okay.
Explain that one to me. I missed that.
it's a budget overrun. We're 18,000 over what we spent this year, what we had budgeted for the DSR. It's all part of the contract. We just did.
So we'll have to do an amendment.
It's right here.
Yep, so we'll do an amended budget on the morning that we do the approval of the next budget.
Oh, okay.
That came because that's the difference there. We actually spent that compared to what was budgeted at 125.
So we went.
So do we want to leave that at 50 then in case there's anything else that comes up in between P and Z and
Would
commissioners?
say so.
But
We're gonna be waiting till.
I don't need that 50, I don't think.
What?
But we better leave it
What you
just
said
in
was
case.
expected.
I would probably.
What's expected is about 10. I think it's 9 something the last time I looked it up on what the balance was.
So worst case.
Yeah, just in case there's something that comes up between August and November.
So I just, visited, so we can amend on the 7th. Approve the amendment on the 7th for this year's budget. That's the way it's not all handled in the same. I just need to know because we'll have public hearing for this. And then the budget. On the 7th.
It's fine.
That's fine. If you guys are ready, I don't want
When do you need it for your package, I guess?
to, that'd be a Kelly thing as
July.
far as. If it's a public hearing, do you have to print a public hearing notice?
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ahead? Or what's your,
Just when do I need to have the document, the resolution to you?
oh, it usually comes out
Like
in
the Friday before.
the Friday before, but.
That's 4th of July.
Oh,
Oh,
Well-
3rd of July.
that was-
Leave it, leave it. We'll leave it out. We'll just leave it all. Then it only takes one public hearing. to
That-
do it all.
And if you're gonna advertise it, that might save on some advertising.
And it'll save some expense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on that?
Yes, he's back there.
We're a little ahead, but
Corner,
Cody,
Yep.
the corner, go make, board maker, come on up.
page 30.
If you would, remind everybody to speak into our mics for calling.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good job.
That worked.
All right, Cody, what you got for us?
watch it. Really, I think the coroner budget's pretty lean and tight at the moment. Of course, our biggest expenditure on there is autopsies, and we can't predict that. I called the lab that we use, and they don't anticipate any price increases, so I think we leave that. And then, of course, fuel prices are up, but we didn't go through our fuel last year as anticipated either, so I don't know. I don't know where else I don't want to add anything to the budget. I don't see anywhere I really want to take away though at the same time.
Mr. Chairman, question is on the vehicle.
Right.
I know we put that in a year ago. We ended up not needing it because we were able to repair your old one, so. Budgets being what they are, why do we need one now?
I know we were approved to start looking for a new vehicle, because of the tax situation in Park County. I didn't pursue that, so
Because what?
Tax.
our tax situation,
Our
The
budget
less
went down.
revenue.
yeah.
But originally you came in to request to purchase the vehicle because the other one was. Had estimate because of the cost of possible repair of the old one, and then we
It's
ended
still a
up.
hoopty. It's definitely nothing the county would be proud of. But we'll continue to maintain a very old decrepit vehicle.
I guess, Mr. Chairman, I was gonna ask it the other way. Cody, I know that you and I've had that conversation about the situation with that vehicle.
Mhm.
And have you done, I know you quit looking at the time when we got it fixed, but have you done enough research to know that 54,000 is enough to get what you believe you need?
Yeah, because at that time I reached out to Fremont and Denny Menholt for a somewhat rushed estimate on the vehicle that would be appropriate for what we needed it for. Just what I see Yellowstone County and Billings use. So that was the price that they had. But yeah.
I guess I don't have any problem leaving it in just in case. I mean, if he doesn't spend it, he doesn't spend it, but if the other one lets go again, I would like to be more prepared that he can just replace it as bad a shape as it's in.
Yeah, and I think it'd be, I think it'd be appropriate though, being a year is for you to do a rough check again and just see.
Yeah.
Because I think, and then obviously if you go down that road, we got to put it out to a bid. But it wouldn't
Right.
hurt to go down and just talk to them about what you need and will that cover it, so we kind of know.
Yeah, there's a donor that has talked to me about potentially helping fund a new vehicle if we get to that point, but he wants to make sure that this was prior to the election process. He wanted to make sure I was the coroner before he donated money. And I haven't followed up with him. Cause again,
I talked to the same donor.
yeah. So we'll see, yeah, but I'm mindful of the restraints we're in with the tax situation, and I'm not in a rush to spend county money before it's absolutely necessary, I guess.
Well, and this donor indicated to me that he would match it up to 20,000.
Yeah. Yeah, do we need to check with the county attorney's office on the legalities of that or how to cleanly do that, or?
Probably is, because we used to get a lot of donations for search and rescue, but it's not, they have a nonprofit.
Yeah,
So we could go to the nonprofit, but I think on a county, something like this, I would go with, I'd talk to Brian.
Yeah.
Doesn't,
Is your employee situation working out the way you anticipated it to with your backup?
Yeah.
So your salaries and everything are fine?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's just hitting a moving target every time. So I think now that we're all getting used to it, we're acclimated and figuring it out just fine. So
anything else?
So we're gonna leave the money for the truck for right now, for the vehicle, not a truck necessarily, but the 50, we're gonna leave that in there.
I think
Just
so.
in
And then,
case.
well, this other gentleman's willing to do what he says and we'll have enough money.
But it'll be in carryover the following
Yeah,
year.
but we need to find out from Brian first, so.
Yeah, that's another reason I didn't pursue it yet is
Okay.
no sense in putting a cart before the horse on any of this.
And then, Mr. Chair, burials, you just can't predict. So that's why you're putting, like, you just, it can vary.
Yeah,
These are
that
people that don't have.
$1,500 for indigent or unclaimed bodies. And through the funeral home side, right now, I think I've got 2 more that would qualify. I just haven't applied for them yet.
And just a quick question, just because I don't know how that works, is that, does this, I thought the state funds, does the state give money to the county for that?
WCC.
Yes, we've only turned in 1 this year.
Yeah.
So do you have more? Because they do June 30th.
I could, yeah, I can probably apply for 1 more that,
Cody has the guidelines that he has to follow.
Yeah.
To declare.
For them to qualify.
Yeah, whether it qualifies or not. And then he just fills out the voucher, gives me the paperwork, and I scan it all in and send it on to Jeremiah, and then it's not guaranteed that you'll get your full amount, because it's then divvied between the 23 counties. Some counties don't ever turn any in, some counties have an abundance, so it's always based on that.
Kind of a shared pool?
Yes.
Okay. But we just put that dollar amount, because I just see like over time, it's kind of fluctuated a little bit. But it's been at 8 for the last. Well, 1, 2. It's been to 6 to 8 for like the last 3 fiscal years.
It's been 0, 6, 1,500, 1,500 this year.
Steve, do you know where that comes in as revenue?
it's $1,500 per indigent case. So 6,000 would be enough for 4 indigent cases a year.
Okay.
And that would be if we didn't get reimbursed for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So we put it in there just in case we don't.
Right, in case we don't,
Yeah.
in case we're not ready.
Okay. That makes,
See, 1,500. This year, we've received 1,275.
So far, yeah. Which will be, it's gonna be, yeah. Yeah.
but you probably need to leave that number as is, because there's no way to predict what the other counties are gonna do, how many we're gonna have.
Right. Yeah, there's absolutely no way to predict it.
Okay.
We're learning Park County is full of people that have plenty of resources and some that are absolutely indigent. So
Okay.
we'll service everybody. Are you looking at my numbers through June, Steve? I got mine through June or just May.
This is through the second run of June.
Okay. I know through May, my materials line was pretty low, but I did purchase quite a few body bags on this year's budget to use up those resources because those were needed. So,
Was that in the last one, Cody?
pardon me?
Was that in this last room?
Yeah, it'll be on my visa for May.
That'll be into next year.
Oh, will it? Okay.
Mm.
Okay, well, spend it. I saved it this year.
Saved it this year?
Yeah. But I don't, if you guys have any other ideas on there, what needs to come down? I'm paying for my own cell phone. I assume I got a pretty simple budget compared to everyone else.
You do.
So you do have funds in there to turn a bill in. On a cell phone.
No, it doesn't.
I used to, I was after Judge Simpson once and he said he didn't want it and I wanted to be cool like him. So I said, I'll pay for my own phone too. Okay.
I don't have any more.
No, I'm good.
Okay, well,
All right.
thanks for coming in.
Yes, thanks, everybody. Darcy, thank you.
You bet.
Take care.
Just talk to the county attorney about getting that advertiser on the side of the corner.
Yeah.
So we-
Can I use it to run yard signs?
Wendy's.
Bye.
Nice people would want to donate to the county.
Next,
Page
we'll have the
14,
treasurer bar.
page 14.
No.
So.
Good afternoon, board. I think my budget's really boring, so there's no changes. There is some good changes. So with advertising, that should go down with us picking one paper, that'll help me. Supplies went up. The bond is in there because I know they're discussing that the treasurers will have to go up with the dollar amount, so I increased the bond for whoever's treasurer next year. Other than that, everything's pretty same. The contract services is what our renewal cards and the property taxes, all of that come out of that same company.
You lowered, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you lowered your materials and supplies. Why?
Because I went through and inventoried and we're pretty set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, Mr. Chairman.
With it.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
What, Barb,
Thank
Barb, you
I-
said, why
what?
did you say the advertising?
Well, advertising used to be quite a bit more. It's gonna go down because we only have to advertise in one paper now for the
Oh.
delinquent and stuff, so that should affect us going forward. I'm not sure exactly, but. So advertising is just our tax sale, the delinquent taxes, and then like the tax refund program and stuff like that is all we really advertise in my office.
Any other questions?
Good.
The simple one.
What?
Lloyd can't
I know
find
you're
it.
trying. I warned everybody, you always ask for a cut, so I said, just go in with a penny and they'll be fine. Thank you, guys.
Disappointed.
I know you're disappointed. I did on purpose, it's me mad.
Brandon, are we early?
Who's next?
Yeah, we're half hour or
Half
15
an
minutes
hour
early.
early. So,
And do the other commissioner ones,
um,
commissioner and youth services.
we could do youth services.
We could get the undersheriff.
But
He'll
won't
take
Don
it.
want to be here for that?
He's out of town, isn't he? Youth services, isn't Don gone?
Today and tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, he said.
It's page 11.
Services.
Mhm. Um,
Not changing salary.
well, they weren't allowed to change
Right.
above the line, so I know that is his one request. but
What's
we're
that?
not. His request was basically a salary change. With a comparative email that I think Colleen got it too, comparing his position around others in the state that do a similar job. But that has to do with salary changes and we weren't addressing those yet, so we just addressed the bottom half,
Oh, okay.
I guess. Is my understanding. I don't.
I'm looking at his.
Given some of the history on there, do we want to bump that bottom line to oh, never mind. I'm looking at something else. Sorry.
I answered him on the 11th saying, since youth services falls under commissioners, you could put your comments in writing to them and need not be present for the time slotted for the youth services.
Right.
So I don't know if you made any comments, you guys.
He did about the salary situation.
Here's your deal.
Well, it's not, it's nothing big, but I guess under testing costs and supplies,
Mhm.
he's never used it.
I-
Never in the history going back to 22 budget, we've never spent anything
I
out of it.
believe those expenses are being expensed out of regular material and supplies versus breaking out, because that's over budget by $385, where he's 400 under for testing supplies.
Line above it. He's buying them out of materials instead of out of drug testing.
So can we eliminate that line?
Better add some money to the one above it.
You have to add the money to the one above it.
But he truly should be breaking his testing supplies out to be transparent to the public for what it costs the county for these testings of the youth that are in trouble.
So we need to just educate him on what line to use for testing supplies, I believe.
Or combine the lines or something, yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah, we have a history there, so I personally
I
think.
follow what you're saying now, I just. The way I look at the history and stuff, it just didn't make any sense.
And I can actually look back on a history and I can move any of those into that line before year end to make it accurate.
Okay. Or he could do it,
No, he can't.
he can't,
Oh. We have to.
I'll do it.
okay.
I need my ruler back. There's it
fine.
over there.
Yeah, mine's cooler anyway.
Like Cody's phone
Deal with my
number?
ruler.
Like Cody's phone number?
So are we gonna leave it the same?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm, okay.
All right,
So everything's okay with that one?
Yeah.
I think so. Then the regular commissioner one is page 10, right above it. We didn't really change anything. Um,
Well.
um,
The
My-
mileage being.
my travel is over. We did add Kelly on mine the beginning of last year before we did the other line item to, I think we added one for staff. Yeah, travel expenses staff is up above. And before we got that done, hers was on mine, which is fine, but that's why it's where it is.
Mr. Chairman, what are we using the contract services and professional fees?
The 2,500,
Yeah,
Where is that?
I mean, we spent.
we didn't spend any of it.
No, we haven't for 2 years and that's, and then, but in 23, remind me what we spent 155,000.
Is that on the building?
Oh, that could have been
Legal.
legal fees for Vanguard when we had that lawsuit. Professional services.
Well, we have
professional
legal
fees.
fees. We have a line for legal fees.
We
That's,
do.
I'm just trying to remember what that might have been.
Did we use a pass-through for the building in Cheyenne? That have anything to do
No,
with it?
that was its own. Trying to think of where that came out of.
Because we obviously anticipated it with,
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine. It's 2,500 that we have budgeted.
right. But where did the building go? And where did, and your question earlier about,
We've only used
The
it
tour.
once in the last 6 years and it was a large amount. Other
Right.
than that, we've never used it. That's why I just,
so what's the tour under?
What year did you do the tour? Is that the tour?
Well, the tour is up.
it has its own,
No, it's not its own.
It's included in dues, subscriptions and bonds.
Okay,
It's marked up to the side.
that was before 23. That was 4 years ago.
the congressional tour has its own I can't, doesn't
I don't think so. When did we do it?
When we did the
22.
congressional tour, we had our own separate fund for that,
Right.
but our donation to that fund came out of.
Oh,
this
okay.
line
right.
item.
So we didn't
Right.
line item it by itself.
So, but we still,
Okay.
It's a
we still
different-
have an account.
There's a whole fund away from
A
the general
separate fund. Okay.
because all of the donations from all the counties came in for that.
Okay.
Do you have a note on the last line? Do you have any notes on that?
How come there's mileage at the top? And then individual.
That's for when commissioners get paid mileage to come to meetings, it goes as payroll as a taxable benefit.
So then what are these individual budgets?
No, this is where we spend mileage and get reimbursed. This is where a commissioner gets reimbursed for his mileage to and from meetings coming here, because
Oh.
that's taxable, so it's up in the payroll stuff. This is not taxable, that's reimbursement,
So this one is for meetings.
right? For in Park County meeting. Dues,
Mhm.
dues and subscriptions. Oh, no, it's not. Where's the,
I'm wondering if it's in that bottom number. No, 'cause that can't be right.
where's WCCA?
It comes out of general.
Oh, okay. The other budget. Which we haven't got to yet. We're gonna have to find, there it is. Okay.
I would say your contract service line, you could probably take that to zero because without anything known in there. Because we also have the contingency fund on the
You're talking about
top.
the 2,500?
We could up the contingency fund to cover any unexpected.
Oh. I think the only place, if I remember correctly, we have used an outside attorney or two on a couple things that Mr. Skorick had a conflict of interest for, and that may be what some of that was. I think there were two different cases.
On
That-
contingency.
No, they may have been under professional fees. It might have been what we did with that 200 and the 150.
But you don't think that would have came out of legal service fees, the line above it?
I don't know. I don't know where
I think
where
that
a
would've-
voucher
That would have hit probably legal services.
should have.
Yeah.
I don't mind removing the 2,500 and adding it to contingency so that we
As long as it's in contingency and then
Yeah.
we need it, it's there, right?
Two.
put it
or
in
just-
contingency up here and it doesn't matter
But
if
the
we leave it where
contingency has already
for.
been over for the last, I mean, we've,
Contingency's been.
last year was,
Under.
was
Been
four,
under.
we spent 5,500, the year before that was, I mean, it was a little closer, so.
I mean, it's been 5,500.
No, it's been under.
1,555. It's been under. We budgeted 4,000 and we spent 1,500.
I know,
Okay.
that's why do we need to raise it? That's my.
We were just talking about moving this 2,500 up there rather
But I
than
think
have
we
that
could
line
just-
item. I think we just,
Let me do some checking on that 155.
okay.
Yeah, it would be helpful if we knew what that was for.
Are you connected? Oh, okay, it's just.
It's in 23, 24.
I don't have time on this computer.
Okay, we can come back to that. Where are we time? Still good. The itemized general funds is 6, which is also ours to, page 6, which is also ours to look at
We just want to leave the commissioners where it's at.
for now. Shall we get an explanation? Does that work?
This general revenue.
Yeah. Oh, that's general revenue, sorry. I have general expenses. Um,
I did get the bill
Oh,
for
hang
WCCA dues today.
What?
We have 25,000 in for WCCA dues and it's like 25,220. So I'll update that.
no, where did
with
general,
actual-
page 25,
General
There we go.
accounts.
25. Anything changing on the unemployment laws, Colleen, or nothing?
No, we pay my case.
Right,
That's another one that could go from,
either way.
Technology's going quick.
Oh, so it's in dues, subscriptions and bonds in this one?
Unemployment insurance.
No,
What are you asking?
what
Yes.
Steve,
Yes, WCCA.
Oh, the WCCA one?
Mhm.
so that needs to go up a little bit.
Yeah, probably 1,000.
WCCA.
Needs to go up by
Yeah, I have the actual bill downstairs. I'll put the actual in. It's like 25,000
five some.
something.
Did you get that? Okay, it just came to the corner.
Okay,
And I did up postage by 10,000 just because it keeps going up. And we were just a little bit over last year by about $1,000. And there is some in this last run that will take that up a little more over in the postage line.
On that prevention pass-through grant, do you guys have any idea what that amount was gonna be?
It was like 142. I think it's
So-
around 142. I think so.
Don't know to bring
And
that
that's over 2 years.
oh, per year.
per year.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was gonna say, I thought it was closer to 300 total.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like 142 per year, but recently, I can tell you.
380 some.
But we only put a year in at a time, so, okay.
So that's the buy-in, the total buy-in.
Yes,
But there's also included in that figure, I have 5 months I haven't paid for last year.
where is that one, Steve?
It's
That will,
Oh, is it?
4870.
I mean,
702.
that's a total, that's an offset to revenue, so I have the same in the revenue
That's
as the
prevention.
expense. But I've got about 50,000-60,000 waiting to be paid from the current year prevention grant.
So we need to add that to a regular year if we believe it's going to get sorted out to be paid.
It'll
on
be
time.
paid next year because we're done.
Right,
So that'll all be in the next fiscal year. And if we start paying correctly,
right.
we would only have 1 month outstanding going forward.
Yeah,
Okay. So we need,
That one I will try to true up a little closer now that I know where we're sitting on it.
So yeah, excuse me, Steve putting put away already. 95,000. So that's in there.
So, Mr. Chair, Steve,
that's not. on this
remind
one,
me
no.
what community service support is?
That's all the special funding.
Oh,
The special funding we'll go through
Oh.
later. And it's up 15,000 because I added 15,000 for CY Air,
if we choose to do that. Okay.
if you choose to do that.
But
I'm
this
just
is,
wondering how we nailed it perfect every time.
I put in what we did last year.
I know, I'm just saying history, we budget this, we spend that. That's one of the few line items that is.
well, yeah, because that's all we say we're
Like,
gonna give them.
No, I understand why. Yes.
So when we go through that special funding page, that will change with however you change.
So, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, this amount for Yellowstone Regional at 95 is our 1/3 share of what they asked for. If we did 95, City of Cody did 95, and Yellowstone Regional is pulling 95 out of their reserves
Right.
for the other third. Okay,
I just had him add it.
Yeah.
So we have a better outlook there on what we were.
Okay.
After you guys had that meeting.
and from what I understand, I think the city approved their
They
third.
Did they?
They did.
they did. I think the thing to remember there is that we have in the past spent over 100 and some in some years, and they just quit asking during COVID because they received so much
ARPA.
ARPA dollars that they didn't need it for a few years, so they weren't asking. And now they're back to needing supplemental.
Yeah, if you're phone.
And we have the joint powers board agreement with them.
So you're basically saying that we don't have a choice.
Well,
Well, I think we don't have I don't think we have a choice other than to participate But at what level is our choice? I mean, if we didn't have the money, we could cut the number down or something, but we can wait until we see how the budget comes out. And then look at it again if we need to.
So
That's their ask.
what the agreement says, I have it pulled up if you just want to talk about it really quick. It just says, under paragraph 2, the Joint Powers Board is herein enacted shall plan the acquisition of airport facilities and other capital improvements and submit its recommendations and its budget request therefore to the county and the city, who shall contribute funds to the Joint Powers Board for the acquisition of such airport facilities and capital improvements as the governing boards of the participating agencies deem appropriate from time to time.
And that was agreed to.
In 1980,
So it's the catch is that there's a shall, but there's also from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're.
And it could mean from this week to next week. I think we need to rewrite that.
Can,
Yes.
can the commissioners come back to that and ask that be renegotiated? Just, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know.
I don't know why we could.
It's been amended multiple times.
Well, there's a way out of it.
When was the last amendment?
Let me tell you.
Right here.
Doesn't it
So-
say?
1988 was the
38
last
year.
amendment. I don't know if there's a final clause about renegotiation or termination. This agreement and the Joint Powers Board created hereby shall be perpetual unless terminated by the governing body of either participating agency in writing. Termination shall be effective 6 months after the receipt of the notice of termination unless both agencies mutually agree to a date. It doesn't say anything about renegotiation. It does say we can cancel it, but if you can cancel it, I can't imagine you couldn't renegotiate it.
I think now would be a very good time, Mr. Chairman, to renegotiate, if you want our participation. Otherwise, we'll just terminate. I think we could easily come up
Well-
with a more modern.
And that happened with the county and the city when it come to the agreement at the law enforcement. They didn't want to bend on it, so county just was gonna slap on a date to be done, and that got them negotiating.
That's how we negotiate.
Put that on the list of things to do, Mr. Chairman. Talk to the city about what the options would be to renegotiate.
Mhm.
Right.
At the very least, or change the wording. If what Commissioner Simone repeated is, it's as to the agreement, I mean, that's pretty damn binding.
Yeah.
And thank goodness it hasn't been abused, but I think we definitely need to have that reworded.
Now, when did
The
you say,
terms could be fine,
when did you say the last one was?
88.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing. The last amendment was June 20th, 1988.
Right.
And that was the ordinance that renamed the municipal airport as Yellowstone Regional Airport.
Right. It went from F.E. Foster, Foster, whatever, to Yellowstone.
That was the last amendment. I just think the language is tricky because it says shall, but it also gives the county and city, the governing agencies, the right to approve from time to time.
Yeah.
So you have to have the governing board's approval
From time to time.
from time to time.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
Brandon's here, so
Yep.
if you want to go
If
back
it's
to.
really quick, I'm gonna give you an update on that 155,000. Looks like 5,000 went to forward Cody. 480 and 609 went to the WCCA MOU GRSG plan and the BLM grazing regulations.
Okay.
And paid $4,700 to the county complex engineering.
It's for those plans.
WCCA special assessment, 25,159.
Oh.
And then two payments of 60,000 each to the National Center for Public Lands. And that all took place in 2023-24. So, yeah, so in August and September of 2023, 120,000 went to the National Center for Public Lands.
That is the 10% from the ARPA dollars, the 12 million. Remember, we were obligated if we took the funds, required to pay that back. Okay,
Okay, so that's what that was all about.
thank you
National Center.
for public lands.
So if you took ARPA dollars, you had to pay that amount?
Yeah, because they're the ones that negotiate.
Yes,
to get.
NACO. Yeah.
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 I remember that. No.
Okay.
So that cleared up 105.
So we really don't need that line.
Some general.
It was under commission.
I don't know if you ever know what's.
I was meant to.
That's true, but was that under the commissioners?
General
Commissioner.
commissioner. Okay,
What page is that, 11?
commissioners were, and, oh yeah, it's at the bottom.
Oh, so right now we have 2,500. Well, that's,
I think 2,500 is fine. Because none of those things are coming back to haunt us that we know of. Page 10,
What are we looking
at the bottom, just leaving that 2,500. We were looking at what cost us 200 or 155,000.
Oh, yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. They're saying for some reason that was the only year we
right.
paid anything out of that line, that account. It's not
So,
really
public
counted.
health,
Brandon's here.
Right, moving on, public health.
page 36.
Come on up.
So Commissioner in General are okay for the moment,
I think so.
I think so.
not including special funding.
Right. We haven't got there yet.
What you got for us? What you got for us?
So for public health, I would propose, I know we're tight on budget and we're trying to be watching everything that we've got going through. I would propose that we keep my budget the same minus just because we were at about 83% of what our used budget was. We had a couple things come up that I was looking back and we were shorthanded nurses for several months, probably over 8 months, where we weren't operating in the Cody office, not running clinics and things like that prior to my arrival. And I think that had a great impact on our revenues. And what we're trying to do now is rebrand a little bit, get a new logo, kind of get the word back out of what public health is, get it back into the community, hopefully with the negativity that COVID had kind of put down upon everybody, that we can bring ourselves back into a new light. And I'm really hoping that we can kind of push ahead and get those numbers back up a little bit. I did want to report that the state is looking to give a raise to the state nurses. So me including 4 other nurses. So it's probably going to be at the tune of about 20,000 additional that would be to the county side. But other than that, we came really close on everything else that was used. Did go over in a couple little areas, but like I said, all in all, dollar wise, we were at 83, or let's call it 84% of what our budget was used.
Questions? Darcy?
So what you're saying is in the area where you had the 90,000 budgeted last year and used 49, you're still thinking that there's area there that you're gonna have to use this year, so you don't want to give up that change, but you just leave it.
If we can, yeah, if we can, I would propose that we leave it as it is, anticipating some growth now that I've got full staff.
Okay,
And commissioners, we would probably adjust the revenue up a little bit for immunizations to increase to offset that expense, because it's at 65,000 right now, I believe.
oh, okay.
Because that usually runs pretty close.
That would make sense.
Mr. Chair, could you explain to me, interagency participation?
So that's the 35% so between the state and the county, 65% is covered by the state. And so 35% is covered by the county. So that's the interagencies.
What you just said.
Yep.
That's what you were referencing just now, Steve.
That's what Brandon's saying. We need to increase that to 240,000 with the raises that they're proposing for their nurses.
We don't have the exact numbers from the state at this time. Of course,
Of course.
yeah. So we're still we're hoping by the beginning of July. Some point,
Okay.
hopefully not too far into July, that we'll have those exact numbers on what they'll be. My estimation is about $21,000, so it'd be 241 is what my calculation showed.
And this is something we don't have a choice in participating.
Correct.
Right.
That would be part of the MOU.
So Steve, would you have to then raise all the salary information, overtime pay, or everything on top too?
No,
Like benefits?
these are state employees. They're not paid by us.
Right, okay.
So whatever the state pays, we
Right.
just have to pay 35% of that back to them.
Right, but I'm saying, do we have to pay 35% of the benefits?
It is,
What's that? Oh,
Just the.
Yeah, the top part does not include any of the state employees.
all
So
right.
whatever bill they get includes
yeah,
everything.
it's all included. So the
Okay.
wages, the FICA, everything is all
Right, okay.
included into there. And that top one that you were referring to, the regular employee wages and salaries, that's our county employees.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that we're not paying FICA and everything else on them.
Right.
So we're not, okay.
So there's there's 4 state employees,
Five, including me.
and then there's how many county ones? Sorry.
So there's 2 county employees. That would be our admin. So the office manager for Cody and Powell. And then we have 2 grant funded nurses.
Okay.
One's a nurse, one is our PHRC, the emergency preparedness
That's,
gal that runs that.
and so Brandon, the MOU for the memos to counties, this is separate. This is for the TANF grant and the maternal and child health grant. Those are not in this budget, right? That's
No.
somewhere else. Okay.
Well, they have their separate pages for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
37.
Yeah, I think we cover page 35 through 39, I believe.
Yeah, so are we okay to move that to 241,000?
I don't think we have
No.
a choice.
Yeah.
Choice.
I'll let you know when I get a firm number as soon as we can. I'll get that over to you guys.
And then I was just gonna look really quick before we move. The revenue part for the immunizations that's somewhere else too.
Yeah, that's under the revenue.
That's under the
section.
revenue section, so it's not gonna be in here. Okay.
That's right now is at 65,000.
And we're saying it could go, you think it's going up, or that's what you're estimating?
It would go up, I would say at least to 80,000.
We did 65 this year, but like I said, that was with
Lower
many
staff
months-
with less
many months
staff.
without staff. So
So that could offset
it
It'll
very well
offset
could.
the wage increase,
It very well could.
right?
Correct. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I guess there is 3 or 4 more here, Brandon, that are under public health, like the maternal and family health grant. Is there anything there? It's changed.
So the budget changes on that,
What page is that?
is
The
going
next
to
one,
be
37.
minimal. And it only adjusted a little bit. We were anticipated for a small amount. It was on the MOU for what the total was. And so you have to divide that by 2 to make
It's
the-
27,000 for the MCH state general funds.
Yep,
And then the TANF was estimated at 28,300.
correct. And I think that's gone up just a little bit. I think a couple thousand each on what they
The next
proposed.
page. That was the next page.
We're still waiting on the,
But, okay, so can I interrupt really quick for the question?
Yeah.
Because this MOU, did we get this, we need to get this done.
we do.
So you're waiting on a signature from, you need the board, or where are we with that?
I believe, so last I heard was Brian Skorick needed to meet with the commissioners to possibly answer some questions that he had.
Okay.
That was the last update I got.
Scott.
Okay, well, we probably need to follow up on it because it looks like it was it goes back this MOU, this memorandum came out March 13th. And to approve the grant, is the deadline June 30th, or do you know?
I don't know at this
Like, will
point.
the state give us some
They,
leeway?
they definitely will, because they were asking a week ago if we had any update on that, and that's when I had reached out to try to find out some more information. Brian said he was still waiting on the commissioners. And he didn't give me the details of what he had questions upon.
Okay, so do we usually get the grant? When do we usually get it? The money? Do they just disperse it, or is that a reimbursement?
It's a reimbursement
Okay.
month to month.
Okay.
So once we have the new agreements, we can go back and adjust the MCH and TANF to match what those grants will be, because these never go over the approved grant
Okay,
dollars.
okay.
So maternal health and TANF and emergency preparedness grants are all okay.
We should be good there. Like I said, they've gone up a few $1,000s each
Yeah,
from,
they're-
from what I saw. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, but that's just a draft from what you guys have. What I sent you on that MOU, it's just the draft. So
but I'm just looking at the MCH, I'm sorry, I'm back still on 37.
you okay?
And you guys have in here 18,000, but it looks like they're estimating it to be more around 27,000,
That's what it,
right?
That's
We're
what it
just
was.
carrying over from last year. It was 18. Is that why we have 18 there?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you see
the TANF.
Chairman, the health officer, as far as we know right now, that's not changed either.
So from
We
this,
we have to wait for all their MOUs to come through, that's when we'll adjust our budget. Because they're all just passed through on that part. Public health is the only one that will get county dollars too.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So MCH, TANF, and the emergency preparedness, once we know exactly what we're getting, we will adjust the budget to what we're going to get, both revenue wise and expense wise.
Then ideally, we would like to have those numbers more, well, I don't know what the turnaround is, but more solidified by June 21st. Right?
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with those, you have to remember, if the expense goes up, the revenue goes up accordingly. So it's not yeah.
but
They're a wash.
Okay.
I understand they're a wash, but we publish a budget and we publish what's going to each department. So if we change that after the 21st, after the board has approved the budget for the next year, do we have to amend the budget then if these
Yeah.
numbers change after that date?
Yes.
Okay,
And then we'll just amend it showing this was revenue
Right.
taken in, this is
Right.
expended.
Right. Okay.
Well, equal zero.
but we do have
Yeah,
to
we
amend
would
it.
have to, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so just so we're on the same page, the MOUs that we need, that are outstanding are the MCH, the TNF. And is there was there another one?
Emergency preparedness. The very next page.
Do we have that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That email that I sent you has everything.
Okay. Okay,
And I shared it with Kelly and Brian Skork as well.
okay,
Sorry.
we'll try to get those done. Okay,
Chairman Stewart said he was gonna visit with Brian.
okay.
You didn't find anything?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, we're over budgeted consistently on materials and supplies. I mean, but it's. I mean, it's not gonna make the county rich and.
Well, and the other thing you have to remember is
But
they were
everyone-
down staff. So they didn't use as many materials or supplies.
We
Well, not
don't
like
use,
just last year, you look at the last
Oh.
4 years. And we're always over budgeting on materials and supplies. There's one year, a couple exceptions in there, but they must have been a major purchase or something, but. I mean,
But you're talking the medical supplies. So.
Well, I don't know what it is. It doesn't list medical. It's just material supplies. I guess under one of them is emergency preparedness.
That's a
But-
grant. That's not
That's a grant,
something we
but-
play with.
Look on page 30.
And my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh.
find stuff, but
Okay,
it doesn't make any
I thought you
difference
meant under
because they're
this.
all. On this one?
no, go back to page 36 is the one that we
Right.
can
That's the
deal
one we
with that would
control.
save us any money. The others are grants, so it's only a pass through.
Yeah, and well, and even some of this is a pass through. Wouldn't it, but you said
So,
iterating.
Commissioner Thiel, I see what you're saying. They're not spending the money in the categories budgeted, but they're not going over their budget.
Right.
Cause in the past, Bill Crampton always said, we don't know exactly where we're gonna spend them. He always kept it level and it varied throughout the years on what they actually. If they didn't need materials, they.
But he also
More training.
spent just because he spent too.
Yeah,
We have a trailer to prove it. So you don't even have a vehicle to pull it with. That was the dumbest damn purchase we ever allowed, in my opinion.
It was a while ago.
That was previous. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, and so like you said, I mean, we were allotted the 90, and this year we only spent 49. And in previous years, if you look back, we were pulling in, we were,
85.
we were going up to about 85, 90 at sometimes, 2-3 years previous. But that's also when we had that correlation of the revenue showing that we were also making between 90 and 100,000 for the immunization side of it too. So really hoping that this year will be a year now that we have full staffing, that we can start showing some numbers with that as well.
Anything else from Brad?
No.
We'll get back to him as soon as we can. We can
Yep.
talk to Brian.
Yeah.
And same,
This,
Mr. Sheriff, I will get you the information as soon as I find out from the state.
On the
When that-
salaries.
Correct.
okay,
Not just the salaries, but if there's any changes to the MCH or the TANF.
The dollar
grants is
amount.
what the dollar amounts for
Okay,
for the
thanks.
TANFs.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joey, here?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, she's not till 2:45.
Take a break.
I could-
do,
Yeah.
do the clerk
Well,
election.
you want to take a break or you want to do the clerk and election?
Take a break.
Take a break. Okay.
Hey, Kelly.
Yep.
Oh.
She was probably talking to him the whole time. He doesn't even know. That's what you, of course, do.
Do you want me to switch that over to 1451?
Here he
He's coming.
comes. I just saw him.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, that's not your budget.
If it is, you just had a big decrease.
Yeah,
You trying to tell me something?
They didn't say when to come back, right?
Bye, Joy.
Hi, thank you. Do you just want me to go section by section, line by line? All right, so of course, the top lines I don't have any control over other than to say that the version of the budget that I had did not reflect the internal promotions that had happened in the past year. It's possible, Steve, do you have those reflected now?
Yes.
They are reflected? Okay, thank you. So those
Yeah.
those numbers should be accurate under the cell. I don't have those on mine, but you should have those. So moving down to the remainder of the budget, the telephone and cell service, we have it remaining as unchanged. I haven't received any notification that that fee is going to go up. We're on that same program that IT is on. I think it's pretty steady. I have not received any notice of an increase, so we kept that at 600. Advertising, obviously this line is unpredictable. This line encapsulates all of the advertising that we do, even the stuff that gets paid back to us by the customer, but we initially pay for it. So all the neighbor notices, the newspaper notices, we have no way of predicting. Those costs keep going up. So we've provided a $500 increase on that. Any questions so far? All right, dues, subscriptions, bonds. That covers our Wyoming Planners Association dues, our Wyoming Geospatial dues, and our certified floodplain management dues for Kim and I to be certified floodplain managers. Any questions about that?
They on every other year or something?
So the certified floodplain manager, our certification is due every 2 years, but our annual membership is annual. So the certification is every 2 years. Plus, we also have notaries, but we don't have any of those coming due. So those would have been removed. Those are, I think, good for every five or 6 years. Yeah, so we don't have any notaries coming up due. So that would account for some of that. The next line is the appointed board line. As you know, this is the Planning and Zoning Commission. The Planning and Zoning Commission is paid by their meeting in addition to their mileage. The mileage rate changed a little bit. That might account for what is there. Plus, we've also changed members and their mileage has changed. So those increases may reflect that. Any questions so far?
So if we find somebody for P and Z that lives in town, that could save us money, is that?
Yes. All right, we have travel and meeting expenses. We don't travel a whole lot. We go to the WyoPass events each year. There's usually a spring one and a fall one. Occasionally, we'll send a member to the Wyoming Geospatial Conference. So we try to keep those minimum. Obviously, the cost of everything goes up. But we're also trying to more accurately reflect that is the travel and meeting expense line. And then the next line is the education, training, and meetings. So you'll see a cut in that line to more accurately reflect where those costs are going. So again, most of the training we've done on small wastewater, we don't need to do. Kelby's fully trained. We don't have the expense of paying for him to train again. If for some reason I had to change staff, if he left and I had to retrain someone, I'd be looking at another $500 to $800 to train a small wastewater administrator potentially. But at this time, I don't have that factored in because I am certainly hoping that he stays. Any questions on travel or the education? Materials and supplies, we've always had a very slim budget for this. We don't buy a lot. This mostly consists of the folders for our projects, pens, notebooks, things like that. As you can see, we've tried to stay under budget with that pretty consistently. We don't often have big expenses there. Fuel, gas and oil, we really amped that number up expecting the fuel price changes over the years, but we just, we can't predict. We don't know how many trips we're going to make for inspections. And we can't predict the fuel. Plus, we don't receive that monthly. So I have no way of projecting how much I'm spending in fuel at any given time.
Mr. Teal.
Well, I'm gonna get something, want to introduce that to 1,000 or 1,100.
We totally understand.
For 3 years, you haven't surpassed.
I agree. And it was actually you that asked for the increase a couple years ago. Remember that? So you take it back.
Making fun of me because I'm not nickel and diming everybody, so I'm getting a little bit.
So where are we going?
Fuel, gas and oil, you want to go to 1,000?
1,000, 2,000?
So we're saving
$1,000.
$200?
You want to go down? Yes,
1,000.
1,000.
Okay.
We're saving $250?
Yeah.
200.
$250, man. I
Job
got some.
Okay.
All right. Under tire and tire repairs, that includes other repair. We are probably going to have to replace the brakes on the county vehicle this year. We were hoping to do that in-house, but I haven't been able to get hold of Brian to see if do they still have a mechanic working for them? If we can do it that way, we can probably get it done for under $1,000. I think the estimate we had like a year ago was $600 or $700. I don't know if the price has gone up since then, but we're estimating. So, I think that also covers, yeah, I think that's it. We're just talking about brakes
Do you need to have money in there? No.
to cover the brakes. We have 1,000.
Um,
I have it under tire and tire repairs. I don't know if
I
it
would
should.
think that would come under vehicle repairs.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's in that line. It might be in the wrong line.
Should be
So
down.
you don't need tires?
I don't think so. I think we just bought tires. Yeah, a couple of years ago.
So we're moving the 1,000.
Yeah,
under
down to
vehicle.
vehicle maintenance and repairs. Sorry about that. Must have got in the wrong spot. And that covers also oil changes, that line.
Yep.
So. All right, let's see. Equipment and furniture, we have nothing. We don't need anything that I can think of. Generally, furniture is covered under buildings and grounds anyway, so we have a 0 in that line. Same with equipment and furniture purchases. We don't need anything that I'm aware of. Have no intent of spending money there. And then everything else, the vehicles, machinery and heavy equipment, we of course don't need any of that. And then contract services and professional fees, we have none. Those have all been covered under the general fund up to now. But if you would like me to add a $400,000 consultant for some reason, that could be a place for you to put it. I wouldn't recommend it. A couple extra side notes, which I know we have discussed at one point or another. I still hear complaints about enforcement. As you know, we are buried in enforcement. We have over 100 open active violations. We simply cannot keep up. We've enlisted Kelly's help. She can tell you, have a personal conversation with her about what this looks like. It's a lot of labor. It's time intensive. It's constant tracking. People do not just get their letter and magically come into compliance. You already have seen that, with your own dealings with some of these violations. It is an ongoing problem. If we are going to have regulation, we are going to need help with enforcement. It is just intense. I would be happy if we could even consider a part-time individual, so that when during the heavy time, they could do more and maybe do less when there's not as much going on if we start to get caught up. At this point, we will never be caught up because there's always the ones that aren't even being looked at. So I'm just putting that out for your consideration. I don't know what the budget's going to look like, but we have discussed this previously. So I'm just going to leave that in your hands for consideration. The other topic, which I have not brought up recently, but it has been kind of in the back of my mind, permit management software. So if you're not aware, Public Works has a management system that they use to deal with all of their tickets and ongoing items that they're dealing with, their projects and such. We would very much benefit from having that same type of thing in planning and zoning. It's not unusual. You can go to lots of planning offices around the state, both urban and rural, and they have a permit management system to manage all of their projects. It can manage everything from application receipt to notifications, everything. The reason we haven't explored it more seriously is because we are obviously in the rewrite of our regulations right now. This system, if employed, you would have to customize it to match your process, your procedure. We're about to change all of that. So I didn't want to stand up this type of system when we are literally about to change everything that we do. But if with any luck and fortune, we'll be having that new procedure in place in January. And then I would probably want to ask if we can evaluate other places to see what they're using. There are multiple solutions. We could even potentially look at the iWork solution that the Public Works is using. But alternatively, we could look at a system that ties in with Tyler, because then we could actually wrap in possibly with the assessor's office and the clerk. You know, we just need to look at the interoperability of all that. I don't have pricing. I have not evaluated these systems other than to talk to other planners to kind of get a list of what they're using. But I would anticipate in the next fiscal year, that would be a conversation that I would like to seriously have. And as you know, there's an expense to setting up a system like that. And then there's ongoing maintenance for that type of software. So I'm just putting a bug in your ear that in the new year, that is something I would like to evaluate.
I would just say we need to put the bug in IT's ear too, because they're the ones that are gonna have to be.
And I will say, IT actually invited me, they have an internal kind of ticketing system that I'm sure you're all familiar with. They sort of showed me how we could potentially customize that to work for what we do. I'm kind of leaning towards, I still would like to evaluate systems that are actually designed for specifically what we do. But I'm not sort of leaving that off the table as a possibility. It would be a more affordable option potentially. So anyway, that is all I have for you. I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Joy, Mr. Chair, if you did have a ticketing system where somebody could submit applications just online, would that free up your employees quite a bit or just a little, or some that maybe they could be into the enforcement portion as well?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that without knowing what each of these systems can do. I don't know. Some systems you can submit applications electronically, others you can't. So there's that. And you know, if you could do payment and everything online, great. And it would actually not let you apply unless it's complete.
Right.
So that would sort of save time there. But without actually having selected a system or knowing what it could do, I can't really answer that. I would hope there would be efficiencies built in. Would that be the equivalent of a half or a whole person? I doubt it. You know, it could be a portion of a person, which you're right. Maybe then down the road that would free up some time for violation enforcement, but I can't really answer that without evaluating those
You
systems.
mentioned that you had a stack of violations. How many people actually, when you give them a letter, actually respond right away and fix the problem? Would it be like 20%?
Oh, no, it's more than that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of response. There's just not a lot of action.
Well,
So even if they respond, that doesn't mean they're responding because they want to come into compliance. So that's part of the problem. And even then, it's not generally quick, you know, because they've got to go and evaluate their septic system or whatever it might be. So there's always things that they have to do. But I definitely more than half call us, I would say, or come in because they get this letter and they're like, oh my God. But the rest, yeah. And then you're sending new letters and sometimes you have to have a deputy delivered because they reject the mail. And then sometimes it comes to you. And then you know, depending on how long that takes to get through your decision or whatever action you want to take, it's just time consuming. The tracking is really the difficulty of the process.
Any more questions for P and Z? Good. For Joy.
Okay.
Thanks, Joy.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Sheriff Detention Office of Homeland Security. We have Under Sheriff Varian and Director Jeff Martin.
See where the sheriff is.
Fine.
Homeland Security is 31 and 32. Is what? 28.
So do you want to do that one first?
Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, thank you. Figure Mr. Martin has the smaller line item in budget, so we could have him go through his first, and then we can
Okay.
go through updates with the sheriff's office.
So 31.
31. Okay.
Take it away, Jeff.
Good afternoon. So what I try to do is look at over the past couple of years that I've been here is try to make as many cuts as I can, just so we're not just putting money on a budget just to have it there. I think last year was one of our bigger cuts, and we had a lot of purchases last year. That was for cert equipment because we graduated a new cert class of, I want to say 17 cert members, so we had to equip them. But going into this year, I don't see any cert trainings. I don't see any trainings on our calendar that we're going to need a little extra money for. So I try to make some more cuts. Basically, see where we at on
Education.
travel and meeting expenses. I was looking at that too, and that's another one where we had 1,500 last year and then 1,500 this year. We could actually cut that down a little bit more because the state is reimbursing us for a lot of our hotel rooms when we go to the mandated meetings twice a year.
Mr. Chair, we could take that to 1,000.
We can take that to it. We could go to 750 on that just because the first couple of years I was here, there was a lot of training I had to go to that was out of town.
Too easy.
Try.
And now you just got
So
Lloyd, who-
750?
now you got $1,000, Lloyd.
Yeah.
He just got you to 1,000.
63 more. 31. So we're going to 750 on that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And the other one that I saw just as I was sitting in the back, we could probably make a reduction on would be materials and supplies. Again, we bought a lot of things last year for certain for the office that we knew that we were going to need going forward. We were 2,000 last year. I put 1,000 this year. We could probably go to 500 on that just because I feel like the things that we needed, we're fully stocked in terms of staffing our team when they get activated. So we could make another reduction there.
So you're saying drop it, Mr. Chair, $1,500 or?
Go
Drop
from
it.
1,000 to 500.
Okay, so 500 we're dropping.
So,
Gotcha.
okay, so that was something where I wasn't expecting to get rims and get mobile rims. So we had to get an upgraded laptop for the truck, and then we had to get the equipment to put into the truck and get all the things that go with it. So that was actually an unexpected purchase, but we took that from different line items. So it kind of convoluted the line items a little bit. But again, I don't expect any more purchases. That was nice to have, and it's been good. But going forward, we have the equipment and the stuff that we need.
And that, Jeff, Mr. Chair, that's including like outdated, I'm assuming you do your inventory, like you look at outdates, you look at end of life materials, like all that stuff. You keep track of all that.
I have, and most of the stuff that's outdated is grant acquired stuff, like our radios are starting to come, the cash that we have starting to come to end of life on a lot of the batteries. So I'm looking for ways to maybe get some grants from the state and from the feds to hopefully go ahead and replace a lot of that. But I'm not gonna put that on the county because that's just exciting. What is it, $100 a battery? It's ridiculous. So we're gonna find ways to do that without having to go through the budget process.
Okay, thank you.
And then I did put 1,200 for tires and tire repair. We do need tires on the vehicle. And then the emergency operations and disaster relief, that's the 2,000 we talk about every year that we have in there just in case that first 12 hours of a disaster, we have money that we can spend to get resources and equipment in until we're able to start actually writing checks. So that should probably stay. I think 2,000 is a reasonable number.
Mr. Dill.
I'm gonna, because you're so nice to work with, I'm gonna give you some back, because I think you need to put a little bit in your vehicle, machinery, equipment and maintenance. I mean, I'm hoping you're changing oil in your in the county vehicle. And
We are.
that's where that should go actually as a line item, so. Couple $100 at least.
Yeah, it was 750. I put it down to 400.
He's one above
No,
you.
you have zero vehicle, right?
Maintenance and
Got a vehicle.
The line below that vehicle, machinery and equipment maintenance and
Oh, yeah.
repairs, that's actually should be where you.
Yeah, I have it now. Okay, so remember when I said we could take 500? We could probably put that, just reallocate
Put
that.
500 back in that one.
Yes, sir.
Do you really want 500?
I think 500 is a good number. We just got the oil done a couple weeks ago. So, and again, since I'm not driving as much to go to trainings, that number's come down a lot and we're not driving the truck near as much.
You need to Get a temperature check or something?
Well, I'm just, I mean, if the public, we want to be transparent, we want to actually
Yeah.
try to put these expenses where they belong.
Yes, sir.
That, no offense, I'm just,
Oh, no, I'm taking
have
it.
you been changing oil in the damn truck? Yeah.
I have.
Okay.
I have, believe it or not, I do know that needs to happen sometimes.
Anything else for Jeff?
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Under Sheriff Aaron?
There is a second
No,
page with
there you go.
Homeland Security
Appreciate it.
grants. Is
Well, I
there
figured you
anything
could go first, so you don't have to sit up here with me.
Nothing? Okay.
Homeland Security grants?
Nothing on Homeland Security grants that,
Nothing that's gonna be put up in here. We did, it'll be for next year.
what about the building?
Court security.
Court security grant. Where's that coming in?
That shouldn't be in my budget.
I don't know where it goes.
Whoever's paying for it.
Well, that's why it's in your budget. No. Well, it's a grant from Homeland
It
Security.
is. Yeah, I mean,
But I mean, I don't care where we put it, but we need to acknowledge that it's gonna be coming through because we're gonna have to spend it.
That would be in whoever's spending it. Is IT?
Would that be
It's gonna probably be Trevor,
buildings and grounds?
buildings and
Probably.
grounds, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be some construction work in the building.
So it should be reflected in the grant revenue side.
If we can talk to Trevor when he comes in
yeah,
there.
we don't have any
Okay,
reimbursables that are actually gonna be
okay,
for
okay,
Homeland Security.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, sheriff wishes he could be here, but he's out of state on a training with other sheriffs. Sends his best regards.
Doesn't wish he could be.
It's it's one of those, he's torn between different locations, but I'll do my best to give the updates and explain the status of the sheriff's office. So basically my goal right now is just to kind of give you the update of general things that are going on with the sheriff's office and just an overall temperature of how our staffing levels are and just the operations. So looking back at one thing that I've tracked for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's probably something that I've shared with you guys via email on overall sheriff's operations, is our trained and certified staff. About 5 years ago, it was pretty tough. We were down to 60-something%, and that's where we were pretty much at critical staffing levels. In 2023, it was at 78%. 2024 was 79%. 2025, 85%. And this year, fortunately, our goal was to get above 90%, and we're at 91% trained and certified staff. And realize for dispatch, it could be anywhere from 6 months, depending on when they get through FTO, go through the academy, detention, 6 to 8 months, and then patrol, it's about 10 months to get someone through all the training cycles on average. And then they're a rookie on the street, alone on the schedule. So we don't count them as trained and certified till all that's done and accomplished, and they have the blessing from all the trainers that they're good to go and ready to be on their own. So that's good numbers in terms of getting the 91% from 78%. And a significant part of that was a couple of years ago when we had that larger pay bump for law enforcement. That was a noticeable change and a lot of good feedback from the employees on that. I had anecdotal experiences talking to the different divisions, and they're like, yeah, they were contemplating what they're going to do, but that definitely made their decision to stay. So really appreciate that. And the sheriff wants to extend that as well. So turnover, those numbers we looked at as well. And so in 2023, of our approximate, 60 employees or 62 counting Homeland Security. But we had 55 first responders. In 2023, we lost 17. And then 2024, it was 10. Last year in 2025, we lost 3. So retention significantly improved. And that was after those large pay increases. And in this year, we've lost 4 so far. And there's various reasons, pay and family situation. We did have a dispatcher go back to another agency, and then a detention deputy go to a patrol position with another agency. So knock on wood, it's the first time we've lost one for a patrol position in a lot of years. Overall, so the data that we sent before, and I'm sure you guys know, just on average, when we compare local law enforcement competition, so Highway Patrol, Powell PD, Cody PD, on average, we're about 10% under them. And that's when you average everything from starting position pay, which we're pretty comparable within 5%. And then you have a 20-year veteran. So the growth of those different positions, whether it's a deputy, sergeant, lieutenant, that's where we fall behind a little bit more. And that's where it averages to 10%. And that includes pay and benefits. So different things we look at on those metrics. Highway Patrol kind of has their positions like ours where it's identified and there's not any built-in or planned growth outside of what happens year to year. Cody PD and Powell PD have a growth plan. So I have different ideas on what that could look like, but of course I realize that does come with different expenditures, or we'd have to be able to allocate the revenues to that. The plan I think I submitted before as something what it would look like, at least it would be like a 2% or a 2-step increase every year. So we could tell someone, hey, come work for the sheriff's office. You're going to make X amount. Here's what it could be unanticipated growth up to 10 or 12 years, which usually when someone's in at least 10 years, generally they're going to stay unless there's something extreme that happens. So they can kind of see what their career future looks like if we had that plan. Or right now, again, the commission's been really great. The last 4 or 5 years, we've had good growth every year, which almost like the plan, but just not something that we can tell. So if I have someone call me and they're like, hey, what is it? If I start with the sheriff's office, I can tell them their starting wages. And I say, go look at housing. Those are the two. And for the most part, that usually they're not able to make that work. Another update is for equipment considerations. Our TASER instructor notified us that TASER, we've used the X26s for a long time. We've been keeping them up, repairing them, and keeping them through the service life. Axon is no longer going to service those tasers. So you can't even buy them anymore. They're going to start putting them out. They won't do the updates. So in the next couple of years, that could be something that we'll look at. We got quotes just to see what it would be like if we tried to replace things for patrol and detention, and it'd be over $100,000 if we did the cheaper option. They have other ones with like VR trainers and different subscriptions for the continuous training that we would need, but that does get kind of pricey. So we could probably make it work without the additional VR. We're also looking at grants for that. There's talk with I lean on Jeff Martin for some of the expertise on grants they have a COPS equipment grant that we might be able to utilize. So our theme is people over equipment. And this is something that it would be really nice. It is expensive for TASER, but again, it's one of those, you don't need it till you need it. And I have a personal story where I was dealing with a guy in a part of our county. And if my TASER didn't work like it should and get him to react, I would have shot him. So I have an actual experience where I would have shot if I didn't have that TASER. So as much as it's one tool and it's not an answer for everything, it is most of society, most departments have them, and there's kind of that potential expectation of having that piece of equipment, even though it does get pricey. So that's something we're looking at on equipment with trying to replace the TASER or look into it or see if there's other options, if there's something else that makes sense that we could utilize, just as long as we have different less lethal options. We did survey our department and asked them what they thought about it. And over 80% said that they would like to keep and have TASERs available because they recognize it's very helpful situationally. We have other like less lethal launchers, but you don't really carry those on all the calls. And so having a TASER on your person at all times is very helpful if the situation turns. Another update is a unified TAC team. So the sheriff's office, Cody PD and Powell PD has been training together and trying to pool our resources together to handle different high risk incidents. So we've had a couple in recent time where, deputies were shot at on North Fork. We had the TAC team that was able to help resolve that without anyone getting hurt. We had another incident with an armed barricade in a car, and we were able to help use our resources, work together and handle that. And there was another one with a domestic, again, armed person, and it was rapidly evolving. We were able to kind of get resources there, have a perimeter, start using our tools and tactics from the additional training with the TAC team. So that's something that, although our usage might not be high, we realize that these situations can happen. And just like that deputy that was shot in bags, one gunfight there, another secondary gunfight, and then they use resources to try to safely resolve that situation. So we know if something happens here, we're going to be the ones that respond to it. It'll be 6 hours plus for anyone else.
Just have a question on that when you're talking about unified, excuse me. And I know we're down on state patrol
Yes,
in our
ma'am.
area. Is that affecting how much you guys have to do?
Are you asking, is the lack of staffing for highway patrol, is that affecting us?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. We are definitely, we remind dispatch to make incidents, and that way we can try to track it. So when we went down the WASCOP, they had the interim Department of Transportation director there, and he was able to hear from the various sheriffs and chiefs on how it's impacting their communities with the lack of highway patrol staffing. So it has had an impact. Our deputies are trying to notify highway patrol, but when they only have 1 or 2 troopers on in 4 counties or it's, and they're far away, they're maybe in Warland, our deputies will take it. So they are taking on more crashes and different calls. And by no means the deputies that, or the troopers that are out there, they're doing their best and their attitudes are great. It's just they realize their staffing levels are really hard right now and they have different limitations due to administrative memos that they can only operate in certain capacities.
Okay, thank
So
you.
yes, it has had an increase that we are, our deputies are taking more crashes and doing that work. The last thing to add on and just to update is we have been implementing our health and wellness or our fitness program with the sheriff's office. And what that is basically we just do the Cooper standards, which is the entry requirement to get into law enforcement. So it's the 1.5 mile run, push-ups and sit-ups. And the hard thing with law enforcement is the job can be very sedentary. And that's why on average, law enforcement has, 20-year advanced on heart disease just because of the stressors, the shift work, the trauma exposure to cortisol, just all these different things that are not healthy on the body. And of course, sleep with shift work just doesn't help with that. So realizing that we're trying to promote from a voluntary stance as many sheriff's office employees participating in this and kind of try to have a competition and who can have the bragging rights for not only participating, but trying to utilize our gym, trying to stay healthy because that's going to have good long-term effects. So one thing I just throw out there that the program last year we completed, we had 9, there's 3 levels of it as what we crafted in our policy is if someone shows up and they complete everything, but maybe they don't pass, there'd be kind of like, good job, you showed up. Then there'd be you actually show up and pass. So you meet the standard, which is about 50%. That's what's required for academy. And then the exceed standard is 75%. So someone comes out and they exceed it, then so there's just 3 levels. Ideas would be if there's any type of comp time or hourly recognition, that would always be very helpful. But that's something that just doesn't need to be a decision, but just things that could be helpful for us to recognize employees that come out, they put forth the effort and we document that. And again, it just promotes overall health and wellness for trying to create that culture that we can maintain from years to come. The other thing with fitness that's so important is as I talk to other administrators at WASCOP or Sheriff's Association is it's a struggle throughout the state more and more. And we find that as well. We have, as we're testing 1 or 2 applicants, physical fitness is something. And I think that's what the military is encountering is 75% of the general population just doesn't qualify for military based on the physical assessments. So I don't know exactly what's going on outside of it. It does seem like less and less people are able to get into law enforcement or meet those physical standards. And they're either going to academy and they're being sent home because they can't pass. And so that's something we're just trying to be mindful of and trying to promote a culture of fitness. So thank you for listening to me on that update and any questions on anything that I just covered.
Mr. Chair, for the contract services and professional fees, you really haven't gone above 30,000, but you put an increase up to 49 this year. Why is that?
So that contract service professional fees
The very
on 2,100.
2,100, 5142.
Some of that with our vehicle outfitting and striping. I'm trying to remember what was, because usually I had a note on the side.
The last 3 years, it's been averaging about 30 grand.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of anything else on that we had that, because it would vary some of them with when we purchased items for the vehicles, we were able to front load it on the previous year. So if we were able to purchase that now, it might make it less for the following year. And so we outfit on average about 3 to 4 vehicles.
And Commissioner Mangold, one thing on those vehicles is you could see some ups and downs depending on what you buy compared to what you have. So if you're replacing a Ford with a Chevy, a lot of times they have to change over the console, do different because they're different. They can't reuse. They try to reuse consoles and everything, but on that, they just can't do it.
That's been a big difficulty for us is depending on the brand and the sizing, our half cages, we either have to buy new ones or if we try to if we can fit them, but there's times where the sizing just doesn't work out depending on the bucket seat and the center console and the radios. Yeah, it does vary. Depends who wins the bid.
Mr. Chair, I got,
Well, if you're going to start, let's start from the top.
okay,
Yeah. Like you said,
start at the top.
yeah, well, we start and work our way down.
Okay,
So we're not bouncing around.
right.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't have any concern at the very top. Can I drop down if you like?
Somebody else does. Maybe somebody else wants to give.
Can you explain advertising in legal and other why you've always spent some in there and you zero?
staffing levels. So because we're at 91% trained and certified staff, we haven't had to advertise as much. Where before, when we had a lot of openings, when we lost 17 or 10, the advertising in the papers, or we tried things with advertising in the movie theater, some different ways to try to get people's attention.
I just want to make sure there wasn't a mistake, but I am gonna get some money from you.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna give it back.
I guess, can I follow up on that?
Sure.
You have 0 in there, but that's for a year.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not gonna need any advertising or anything for a year? Cause that means you're really not planning on losing anybody.
I'm optimistic.
Well, optimistic, yes.
Yes.
Reality, I don't know.
Mhm. I was trying to see if we were using that from a different line item,
Oh,
but
okay.
that. No, we don't have a note on there that we were relocating anywhere else.
I just think it's something to think about.
Mhm.
You've got a year ahead of you.
Due subscriptions, telephone. Yeah, we could probably add back in 500 for
500.
that, just.
Okay. I think that might make sense.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
That's if you use radio.
Can I continue?
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, you look at your fuel and oil. You haven't spent over 100,000, you upped it 10,000. I think we could drop that back to 110 is what you were last year. Reason being fuel prices, I know have went up a little bit. They were up last year. You didn't even spend it. Okay,
Oh.
and with that,
Hmm.
there's 10 I take away, but then you go to the very next line below. And you've consistently spent money on tires and you have 0. So I mean, I know you're gonna have some tires repairs. So
Yes, sir.
We could put 5 back in for that.
What we talked about, and we could always not do it that way, we talked about combining that line item to the 4345, which is vehicle machinery, equipment, maintenance and repair. So we were just going to combine those both, and that's why we added it there. However, if we would like the tire line item to stay as a separate one, we certainly could keep it that way. So our proposal was to combine those two.
So the 4345 vehicle maintenance, that's
Just went up.
I mean, last year, but you spent 16,000 on tires and you also spent 33 on maintenance repair. So I mean, and you didn't up it, so you didn't include it. I mean, I'm fine with it I'm just asking.
Yeah.
And then the same with equipment, maintenance and repair. I mean, that one's zeroed out and you consistently spent anywhere from, 8 to 6,000 in that line item. And you have 0, so.
Mm. Yeah, I think the intent was to combine some of those vehicle related expenses.
It just.
Again, you have to remember when you combine something like that, you're changing the history of the document. And the document goes back many, many years. So I've been here 12 years, so it's 12 years worth. And now all of a sudden, we're gonna take tires out of somewhere besides tires. That makes no sense. I would rather to be transparent to the public that you leave all the lines that are the lines and add money to them.
Or throw the line out.
Specifics.
Well, I mean, we really can't pull a line out. We can hide it, but we can't pull it out because once we pull it out, we've lost all the history on that line.
Gotcha.
So there's reasons for doing it the way we do it. Most of it's just being transparent to the public and it actually saying, okay, we spent $10,000 on tires this year.
Yeah.
And whatever the case may be. I mean, that's the reason for the line items the way they are. I didn't set them up, but we followed through because of the history of all of these.
It's transparent. It's also consistent with other departments.
Yeah.
Everybody using it the same way versus some using it one way and some another way. So it's consistent across the county.
If I get a FOIA request to ask how many vehicles does the county own? Okay, we own such and such. How many have had tires changed in the last 5 years? If it's not in tires, I can't tell you the answers to that questions. And as you know, we get more and more FOIA requests all the time, trying to get this all figured out. And, so the more transparent we are, the better we are in showing the public what we're doing here.
Makes sense.
So I would
Sounds like
like
a
to
plan.
add money and not put it in another line item. I would, like to have money there so we can actually carry through the way we've been carried.
So I guess with that, unless you're opposed to putting 5 in tires, we'll at least have something there.
Yeah, let's put back. So the previous year, we did spend more on tires. Lately, tires have been a little bit more, so that would be good to bump that back up.
So just switch the 10 back out
Mhm.
from. They moved 10 out of tires into vehicle maintenance, so we could take 10 out of maintenance and put it back in tires.
Yeah, 23. Yeah, so
Then
good. That
if
one
you
could
look
go
at
from
maintenance-
33,000 to 23,000.
But when you look at maintenance,
Mm.
they spent 33, they only had 33. They spent 33 last year. The year before that, they spent 37.
One thing
So
we
now
were
you're gonna
counting
drop
on,
that to 23?
Our vehicles are.
Pardon?
Vehicles are.
with our newer vehicles, we've had some difficulties. So that was one thing on that line item for the actual vehicle bid.
Fine. You want to drop that to 23 then?
What
And
is
put 10
23?
back in tires.
The 43, 45 line for vehicle machinery, equipment maintenance and repair. So the previous year was 23. One thing we were seeking out on the new bid, or we were talking about, was bumper to bumper coverage. Just that would raise, so because again, the last year or two, there's just been a little bit more stuff and that has added to our vehicle expense. So if we could get that in the original bid, and that's why we upped the vehicle one from 150 to 160 in anticipation of what that could look like on if we asked them to add the bumper to bumper coverage. And that may
Yes, sir,
hopefully.
Tim. Daryl did mention that to me in a conversation that we were having, that a few of the issues they had this year that were costly would have been covered in that bumper to bumper. So he really wanted to find out what that value is on purchase.
Mhm. So yeah, the goal was to bid that with bumper to bumper, if that makes sense. And then hopefully that would not exceed our vehicle maintenance. Okay.
I'm still money ahead, so.
Maintenance and repair.
Good for you. 760.
You're okay with, Mr. Chair,
Yep.
you're okay with the 4340 at the maintenance and repair of equipment and furnishings at 0? Same scenario.
Mhm. Yeah, that one, I'm trying to remember what we had on that one. Mhm. Yeah, it was 3,300 on that last. Stat flag.
This is 5,600, they have 10,500, 86, 81.
Would be appropriate to put 8,000 in there.
I think so.
Yeah.
8,000 looks about like the average of the last 5 years. So
Mhm.
8,000 may be a good number to put in there.
Was that inflated? That couldn't have been inflated into the vehicle machinery one.
No. Equipment, furniture, maintenance and repair.
Well, that only leaves me 2,000 to the good. But I guess it's better than this. I told you we give it back, but. So you want to put that 8? Is that what you do?
Yes, if we can.
Additional fees on search and rescue. Is that what we were?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
we're down that far, additional fees for search and rescue.
So search and rescue, it's been at 50,000 for quite some time. I was talking with our SAR coordinator and there's different things he's trying to update. For example, he just replaced a bunch of ropes. So they're going to be training with Montana and their team on rope rescue. We had the one incident where it was right in between, kind of what the teams work together to do that rope rescue. And so I think the life cycle he described was like 10 years on those ropes and they're about at that time. So it's not safe to use on missions. So some of that equipment that is going in there, he's trying to recycle through, that comes up, but it's they last for in between 5 and 10 years, trying to replace those things and make sure that it's all up to date and we're not using used equipment or equipment beyond its recommended lifestyle or lifespan.
Did the sheriff talk to you? I visited with him about breaking the training and equipment out away from mission money.
Yes, we
have-
talked about, we were looking at what could be some different categories and we could always split search and rescue and have a couple subcategories on different things like equipment or
Yeah, we just talked about a breakdown, to separate out training and
Mhm.
equipment cost.
Mhm.
Separate from, and because that's what we used to have it 20 years ago,
Mhm.
is you had a mission budget. So
Mhm.
let's say if you got 58,000, 30,000 is dedicated to missions or whatever the magic number is. And then that's because I know what goes on sometimes where they get leftover money, they're buying the good toys and
Mhm.
at the end of the year. So if we did like before and have mission where they can't touch that mission except for a mission.
Mm.
And then have enough for training and equipment.
Yeah, I know the SAR coordinator kind of splits up the different operation costs on different missions or trainings. So we could look at he has a lot of different ones, but we could figure out if there's a couple subcategories that make sense or ways to track it.
And what we talked about is just doing one line item, adding a line item
Mhm.
and label them one training and equipment and one mission.
Training equipment. Yeah, it's something we could look into and split them up.
Anything else?
For 2,100, no, nothing else to add.
Detention? Detention?
Oh, man. Yeah, look that one up.
Yeah, for 2,400, there was a couple of line items that were zeroed and whether we hide them or just keep them on there, if it's something just for transparency, that's perfectly fine. I don't think we combined any line items on the detention account. There are some that I know our jail lieutenant wants to have a healthy amount in there because the unknown parts about fuel prices with our inmate boarding, with feeding the inmates, that could vary. And before we had a different setup where we were able to store things more easily, where it sounds like that option may not be available. So we have our new kitchen manager she's trying to work through and order food, and it does vary depending on our inmate population.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Is the medical the new contract?
Yes, ma'am. The new contract, I believe it went up that 3.7% which pretty much follows the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. And they should have that contract out very soon, or I believe the
read
sheriff.
Something about that.
Yeah,
It should be
he
there.
double checked with them and.
Okay.
Anything stick out at anybody?
Yeah, relatively everything should be pretty much the same outside of, the medical contract and then the live scan maintenance are two scanners one's for public and one's within the jail. Just the maintenance for those when they go down, it's very noticeable. I'm trying to get those back up and running.
Majority of the other equipment's coming through IT, right? Not this budget?
Right, correct.
Okay.
Andy, do you know this? I don't want you to jump back to the sheriff's office, but did you guys consider in there, don't you have to pay certain fees for the mobile data terminals now?
There is a monthly cost for the MDTs. Yes. And I believe that was in the cell services. I think that's what jumped it so much before, where our cell services used to be less, like 11 to 13,000 in prior years. And then it jumped up to the 24,000 in anticipation of that more, the monthly charge that would come in from those MDTs. And there's been really good feedback from the patrol deputies on being sent calls, being able to see what's going on and able to document things and not have to go back to the office per se, but they can stay out and go to the next call or see where each other's at.
Okay, that was just something I wanted to make sure that it was covered.
Mhm.
Anything else? Undersheriff,
I'm good.
appreciate the report and appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.
County attorney,
Is
victim witness.
16.
Don't forget your juice bottle.
Just gotta spend a lot of money.
I know. Not like the old guy.
Just on the medical.
Where we at?
Yeah, 16.
16.
Yeah, that's the addition.
Bakerwood?
Hello.
Oh,
I think relatively flat budget with the exception of victim witness coordinator. This year, grant funding, 0. They cut it last time, well, started about 6 years ago where they were tapering it down. Last time they cut it significantly, the county injected those funds. This time, 0 grant funding. I have complained to the Attorney General's office about that. I haven't heard back yet, so I think based on where we were 2 years ago, historically, starting, well, at least prior to my time and then all of my time, I mean, almost funded 100%, 2 positions by the state. Again, about 6 years ago, they started tapering that down. The federal funding had been cut, VOCA funding, VAWA funding. Then now we're at 0. So leaves us really, I think, 2 options. I have to have one of those positions. Commission can either, back fund that, what the state has cut, or cut a position. I think that's where we're at. The good news is the state this year, legislature, in a footnote in the budget bill, the county will receive for fiscal year 27 and 28 approximately, and it's an approximate number, it's going to be pretty close, an additional $77,345 a year for the county attorney position and the 4 deputies that I have. And that would be the total amount for fiscal year 27, $77,345, and then again in fiscal year 28, $77,345. So that's good news that the state finally has stepped up on what the county attorney's office does for the state. Because as a reminder, I mean, everything we prosecute on behalf of the state of Wyoming, civil stuff's on behalf of the county. So, but all state prosecutions that we do are on behalf of the state of Wyoming.
Mr. Chair, is that amount, every county gets that same amount, or does it go by population? Or?
It's proportional, yeah. So depending on the number of deputies you have, for example, $13,805.31 approximately for each deputy, county attorney. So if you have 2, you're only going to get 26,000. The 22,123 for the county attorney's position, that's going to be consistent through 21 counties. The other 2 counties are district attorneys, so they wouldn't receive that money because they're already fully paid by the state. So.
Right, is that in addition to the 170 we already get?
That's an addition, and it basically says the state contributions for county prosecuting attorneys and assistant county and prosecuting attorneys specified in footnote 1 of section 160 of the 2026 budget bill are specifically in addition to those state contributions already provided for in Wyoming statute 183107F for each fiscal year of the fiscal biennium commencing on July 1st, 2026. So if Steve's right, previously and by statute, we receive a proportion of the county attorney's salary, deputy salaries. That's been on the books forever. This is in addition to that, which would be the 77,345.14. So.
Brian, Mr. Chair, Brian, can you go back over the You said the VOCA and the VicWid. Say that again, what you,
Historically, this state has been encouraging recipients of grant funding to provide more, I guess, funding on their own with the assertion that VAWA and VOCA funding through the federal government was going down. That was historically. So it started, I'm guessing, 6 years ago when all that started. This time it's not just due to the VOCA and VAWA funding being cut though. So
so your recommendation, I guess I'm confused still about what your, so you're saying you don't need both positions?
no, I
You
think,
do need both
no,
positions?
I mean, I would appreciate all that funding. We are where we are. There's no guarantees in grant funding. So I think that leaves the commission with an option. It's either cut one of the victim witness positions or fund it through the county funds. So the program would be entirely funded through Park County. So I think that's the decision the board has to make.
Can you describe those positions real quick, what they do?
Victim witness coordinator position, from the initiation of a criminal offense, contacts the victim, processes all paperwork, makes arrangements for subpoenas of law enforcement officers for court hearings, attendance of witnesses, coordinates meetings between the attorneys and the victim. It's just yeah. I would say the position in Powell does a little bit more office work, unrelated to victim witness at times than the Cody position does at times. And so, yeah, it'd be unfortunate if we lost the position, but I understand too that, you know, we are where we are. So if we have to cut a position, we have to cut a position. So, and as I've always said, nobody from the public has ever complained that government workers have to work a little harder. So if we do cut a position, I may need to look at the mileage deal because that would create, currently I have one in Powell, one in Cody. And so if I cut a position, obviously that mileage the travel might increase just a little bit. So that would be the only thing I see changing.
So if cutting one, I'm looking at it,
Mhm.
because the grant funded is only 3,300? Is that what I'm looking at?
The victim witness is on the bottom. All expenses are covered under the various victim witness categories for, it's a total of
136.
136,209.
Oh,
Is
this
there-
whole
there-
thing.
Yes.
At one time.
Are these both?
That's
This
for
is
two of them.
confusing. And then,
The 136 includes two positions.
I believe it
Yeah.
does.
It does.
so if we didn't, so there's no grant dollars left. So we would be on the hook for funding it totally. And historically, we've been getting how much?
Last year was just a little under 60,000.
We got about half of it.
So,
We
Hmm.
funded 76,000 last year and they paid 60,000 basically.
but now going forward, they're not gonna pay it at all,
The 60,000 went away.
the 60,000.
So we'd be on the hook for another 60 or 60. Okay.
So Steve, I'm gonna ask another dumb question. Are the wages or the salaries, benefits, are the benefits and everything paid by the state? Like,
Well, we pay them and get reimbursed.
oh, okay.
They'll reimburse us up to 60,000 a year for these.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Includes, it's pretty much salaries, benefits and travel with a few supplies and a few witness expenses for travel and meals.
They are
Right.
completely our
Hourly
employees,
salary.
right? They are completely our employees.
Yes.
We just get the grant money from the state.
Right. It's just a reimbursable, but they only reimburse
Up to 60.
60,000.
And if the board wants to see the job description or the grant applications that we submitted, I can get those to you as well.
I think
It
we
goes
looked at
into
them
very-
last year. I remember looking at them.
It goes into very great detail what those people do.
Mhm. But the problem for me is, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen with the People's Initiative. And so is it sustainable for us to absorb that cost?
It
Going,
would be for a year.
yeah,
Don't know about after that.
So
but it might be the time. Do you know volume wise? How many? I guess it's victims, is that what you would call it? How many clients they help per?
I can get you, we have those numbers, absolutely, because they were in the grant application.
Okay.
How many they service?
Yeah.
You know,
But
they're not positions where they're sitting around twiddling their thumbs for sure.
Well, and Mr. Chairman, that's my question, I guess, is are they exclusively only working on this or do they other?
Well, that would be the one advantage. If they're paid 100% by the county, I could have them doing whatever I wanted to do.
But currently they're only,
By and large, that's true. Yep. Victim witness issues. You know, coordinating all, you know, if we've got a trial coming up, they're doing all the coordination on that between the victim and the witnesses, getting the subpoenas out, working closely with the attorney. Then we obviously have the legal secretaries producing the papers. So everybody does have their function. So. Do I see that increasing in the near future? No. In terms of staff wise or anything like that, I think we have a pretty good grasp on it right now. Would we survive without a position? We could. Is it going to be as efficient? No, but you know, sometimes you have to make things work.
Anything else?
The only other thing, I guess, is his other two with the opioid funds, if there's any updates or any news on those things.
I don't believe so. I think we had a meeting coming up at
Next
some point to discuss something.
You said next Monday.
Monday.
Okay. I think that money continues to roll in.
Does it, it seems like it's kind of
Sporadic.
and. Yeah, so it's, I think I just have Brian's kind of an estimate, what's coming in and spending roughly the same amount.
Okay.
But that's its own fund, so. I mean, if something came up to spend those funds, it's not really a problem to take care of those needs.
You sure do.
There's plenty of funds.
You got some?
well, yeah, I haven't got any money yet.
Oh,
So I'm going to,
through the opioid money, you mean?
no, I'm gonna go into your general,
Oh,
line item on materials and supplies.
sure.
Just simply kind of sticks out a little bit and I'm not getting much from anybody, but if we could drop that $1,000, you know, I'm gonna hit 1,000 in 4 years or 5,000 total in 4 years. So unless you have material supplies that you know you're behind on. Last year we only spent 3,200, year before that, 3,000.
I have no objection to that.
Okay.
So you're going to 5,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm not doing.
I'm
my
pretty
job.
budget conscious. I mean, obviously, if we don't spend money, we get it back. So
And that's good.
I've been sitting in the same chair for 21 years. So the armrests are falling off it, but little duct tape did wonders.
So we can expect a little
That's
bit
all I
of
need.
going up in the next budget.
I don't know. Chair still works fine. You got to tighten the bolts every now and then underneath, but other than that, it's working fine.
Anything
Okay.
else for Brian?
I don't.
Well, thanks.
You bet. Thanks. And if you guys want that job description, I can certainly get it for you.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks, Steve.
Page 40.
Do we have,
So-
is that for Andrew?
Hmm?
Where are you going?
GW extension.
So on the.
She's here. I saw her a minute ago.
Do people have to apply for this?
We have a meeting.
And it's earmarked, you can only get it for certain things.
Criteria for it. So Mary Louise?
Yeah.
She's here.
Okay.
Page 40.
So first of all, I wanted to introduce you to Dr. Danelle Peck. Danelle is Associate Director of Extension and she's on with you all.
Oh.
Hello, up this way, so. Cool. And to you, if I didn't have a son that also works for the county, I wouldn't know when this meeting would. If Billy didn't work for the county, I wouldn't know that this meeting. Yeah, that.
They changed email address.
Oh, no, but I did, which is a whole nother thing, but, I'm not on the original email either.
You're not on the department head list?
Nope.
Oh, you should be. I always thought you were.
So, but I'm here, so I don't know what you want, other than I gave you two,
You're showing up.
well, I need money, so. So I gave you two budgets, so I don't know, Would- okay, which one?
There's the one for additional personnel, but the phone system one is not.
Okay, that's good, because the phone one ended up not. County IT worked with UWIT and I think things are golden except for email.
Okay.
Because I didn't know Danelle was coming because my email is in La La Land. Yeah,
That's handy.
uh-huh. It's fun. I don't know what else is missing. Okay, but so basically everything is the same as previous. But since Sabina left and you were gracious enough to let me use some of her salary to support Ted in this year, I'm asking, can we continue that? A portion of what Sabina's was, because we don't pay Ted any benefits or anything. So the county is still getting a great deal of money back from UW Extension.
I might not have totally followed that.
Okay,
She wasn't
Back
here
up.
for the first half of that.
okay, so in the past, we've had two admins, one in Powell and one in Cody.
Oh, yep, okay.
The Powell admin moved. At that time, we did not have any clue what the budgets were gonna be like. And so I was concerned to fill a position April 1 and then there not be a position come July 1. Didn't
Okay.
think that was fair. And so I came to a meeting that Dossie and Scott were at and I asked, could we use some of Sabina's salary to support Ted because he was only at 10 hours a week?
He's already employed.
Yes.
Okay.
So could we bump him to 20 hours a week, which he was previous couple of
I
years?
remember this. Yeah.
And you guys were great and said that'd be fine, but I needed to ask again. So I'm asking if we could take some of the salary that was for that admin position and put it toward the horticulture position. You would still be saving quite a bit of money because
He's
Ted is
part-time.
non-benefited.
Right.
So we save all of the benefits, which is a significant chunk of money. And then also it wouldn't, because he's not full-time, it also does not take all of that salary money.
Right.
Kelsey?
I guess I have a question of Steve then. When we look at this budget, the 25-26 budgeted amount under the salary stuff for regular employees was 94. The 26-27 shows 47,882. Is that just the difference in that salary being,
Salary.
so the whole salary was taken out?
Yes.
But it was, Ted's has been in contract.
Okay, so it's down under contract services.
Yeah, the
Okay.
9,594 increase would be.
That's him. Okay.
Well, then that answers the only question I have.
Why there was
Yeah,
more money?
contract services were,
It looks like that 9,384 left over.
Possible.
That's a Hunter question and she's on leave because she's getting married Friday. But I can go dig through.
That looks like the missed it. Order payment. Could be on you though too, because. Sorry. All favor. Yes, they business them in a timely manner, so I have to get after them in March and say, hey, our end of the year's coming up, get it to us.
I will look. I know we got the fourth quarter, but I'm not sure we got the third quarter, because the fourth quarter was wonky. Because UW was like, Ted's out of money, and I'm like, well, he's not out of money because. So I can look on that, Colleen. Okay.
Brought to the board.
It's possible it's low from some of the changes. I just have to look and see, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it,
Are you wanting the thoughts on keeping the position?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a savings. Instead of replacing that person, it was.
Yeah.
It's like almost
If we
20,000.
were short one payment, we would have to increase that contract services by that payment
Okay.
too. So it would be part of a cash carryover coming into.
Okay.
Would you let me know?
Mr. Chair, I'll be the bad guy here. I'll say, no,
But, can you tell me your rationale?
my rationale,
Mhm.
I would rather not fill it at this point in time, not knowing rather what next year will bring. I mean, I know that you're gonna be without a year, but, versus laying that same person off after.
He's already here. He is an employee. The other gal left
The other one, but she's
Right.
asking
to keep the guy that works.
and
Yeah.
That decision was made last year, so he's already here.
He
And
works
not fill the
part-time.
admin,
part-time,
Yeah.
and what's
but
the-
not refill the admin that left. So they took part of her salary and applied it to him,
Right, making him full-time?
part-time.
No.
So he has no
Just
benefit.
continuous
Added 10 hours a week. We just did 10 hours, was 20 hours.
20 hours a week and no benefit.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel
What do you
okay
think
with
he's already
it.
current.
Mhm, 'cause he's already doing it.
What's the request, I guess?
To keep-
She wants to keep doing it.
To
We-
keep doing it.
We had originally made the decision to not fund that position. And then when Sabina left, Mary Louise asked if we could keep funding his position for a little while and see what the budgets did. And so that's where it's sitting right now. Correct?
Yep. I remember that. That was last year. Wasn't that last year?
It is pretty close.
This spring,
Yeah.
like March.
It was.
Oh, I remember this now. Yeah.
So sum it up, Commissioner Thiel, they're saving $58,000 in salaries. They want to spend an additional 9,500 in contract services for Ted Smith's position.
To keep
On
it.
top of what's already in here.
That's in there now.
That is in
It's in there now.
this current
Yeah.
budget that I have.
So with that position not being filled, it would be a save to the county of about $49,000 if you put Ted on for the additional 10 hours.
And if you eliminated Ted, then you would have I'm not saying him, eliminated the position, you would end up with 9,000 more. So you'd end up with $59,000.
If you kept it at the 10 hours a week versus the 20, you would save the 9,000. If you
Yeah.
eliminated the position, you would save 18,000. Because we were funding before in the budget 10 hours of his time.
Right.
So they just want to double that, which is an increase of $9,000.
Mary Louise, can you tell us a little bit about what he does? Maybe just briefly.
So he answers questions to homeowners and just not even necessarily homeowners, people that have questions about trees, plants, shrubs, their garden, what bug this is that they bring in. And he answers the questions from everybody in the county. And he fields in these 10, he's donated a lot of time this year to the county and to UW Extension because he's worked more than the 10 hours a week. He researches what they should do, like if their lawn's brown, like is it deficient in something? He helps them learn how to take soil samples and send them off. he's got a little microscope that he looks at bugs and identifies the bugs and finds out like how to treat them, or if they are, not all bugs are bad. So he helps a lot of little old ladies.
I'm sure with their gardens and stuff.
Horticulture. Yeah, his position is entirely horticulture and entomology.
I think this is one that we may save for now. It certainly may not survive another 25% tax cut, but I think we all know that. But I don't have a problem with trying to save it for now if we can continue keeping the budget that we have.
And I guess I'd like to remind you that we did move offices. And so hopefully you're generating revenue from the space that we vacated. And that I'm still saving you $49,000. Yeah.
About 30%. And we, Mr. Chair, we do encourage all the department heads to come in with 30% less on all of their budgets, so appreciate that.
Tried.
Okay.
I think where I was confused was the extended amount. And I think that's what Colleen was mentioning. We haven't made that fourth quarter or something in this budget.
Yes.
Because the 25 does not, I figured it out in the math, that you're actually missing 2 payments off of that. If compared to what what she's proposing.
We're missing one payment, but we're.
To the extended part, yes.
Yeah.
And then if you add another
Yeah.
one, that's how you get to 44. That's where I was, like, you spend 25 and you're only and the math is double that.
But that comes from tenants too. It's, we don't pay 10, you pays 10. You pay the, you pay 10. Just like we pay the to pay your lease.
I know, but I'm just saying the extended amount is not correct.
That extended amount is probably part of it's probably very weak. Not just.
So it comes out of both places.
American lease comes out.
So for now, we leave it.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
We'll need to add to that line if we're a payment short this year.
Right,
Yeah.
to balance it out.
Yeah.
Okay, but that will actually be carry
I will
over from
tomorrow.
here
Yes.
because it's still in there. Okay,
Anything else?
good.
Thank you for coming in. Nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk of District Court is page 8.
Page 8,
8.
Thumbs up.
Clerk of District Court. Deb?
And pages all screwed up.
Last time, please.
It's scary to think about.
Nah.
No? Little exciting, but scary.
Okay.
I don't know that you're gonna get much out of it.
There isn't a lot there.
Judges.
Well, these short timers are tough.
Okay.
It's really just, got the one, huh? The
One addition.
change?
Is that the bonding situation?
Yeah, I went up on the bonds for the new clerk.
Oh.
Cause it's gone up to 100,000 now, which the message from Colleen and Terry had said they figured right around $1,300, where before it was just under 400.
Wow.
So I went up there. Quite truthfully, I could have gone down, could still go down on travel and materials. I'm returning $6,200 from those, out of those 2 categories. I just debated on that, as with the new clerk coming in, I don't want to cut them short.
She may go to more meetings than I go to for travel, may send the other girls to the Child Support Association meetings, which my girls did not really want to go, so I had that left over. Materials, the main reason I didn't go down on that one is because the new clerk has to order all new stamps. Hopefully they'll use up the supplies we have, but new checks, new file folders, all of that kind of stuff, because most of that has my name on them. Of the leftovers.
So you answered most of my concerns, with the exception if I missed, I apologize, on dues and subscriptions and bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just so that I added $1,300 onto that for the new clerk's bond, as that's what it's kind of estimated to be for her for a 4-year term.
is there any additional? I mean, that still leaves
That leaves
$900.
that leaves enough for the Clerk of District Court Association dues, YCASA dues.
You were right.
Can you give him $5?
Huh?
$5 from somewhere.
Sure.
Well, with that going up, I mean, I'm wondering if we could take a little bit to balance it out, because it went up to 1,300, right?
Take a little out of the material.
If we took it out of materials to make it up.
That could happen. We
Like,
have
'cause
not
we've
had
got
to order
9,000.
many case files lately, so we did. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, we had our case files cost us over $7,000 for a year. So, but we have slowly cut down on some of those. So this year they only came to 2,000. So that we've ordered.
We could probably take that 13.
So that could come down. Like I say, I just left most of it for
Right.
all the new
So we
supplies. the
probably
new
could
clerk.
take that 1,300 out of there, and that would just balance.
This way it'll be
everything.
us taking it.
Yes.
Built in the 2,200. She's, even if you add 1,300 to what she spent last year, she's still well under, and even the year before, not so much, but the year before that, 2 years before that, it's all right.
900 and 1,300 is 22.
What did Lloyd say? What?
Are you talking dues and bonds?
No, I didn't hear what you said about, because I
Well,
was saying we could take that
You look at
9,000 down.
last year, she only spent $250.
Actually,
What line are you on?
Dues.
That's actually, it's actually a credit of $250.
so
That, it was budgeted for 900,
What happened there?
we,
right?
checks got taken out of that category or something. It's got taken out of the wrong category. So Steve did an adjustment for us on, put money back there and took the checks out of the correct category. So actually out of that $900, we have spent, according to our records, we have spent $850 of that. So I had I'm showing I have $50 left in that budget right now.
That's not
The
what we show. I guess that's why we're questioning.
No, it's not.
Something happened there, but I think our budget for that with the increase in the bond price and amount, that's a 1-year deal.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
I believe her budget for that is probably on target.
The 1,300.
Yeah, the supplies looks, from historically, it could drop maybe a little bit, but I mean, you've got 8,000 and almost 12,000 and 9,700, then 5,300. So I don't know that I would
Go too far.
take it too far, but
No.
Okay.
again, it's one of those court things that depends on the volume of business.
It's
And
very
the
hard.
bond
to
is a
anticipate.
one-time thing.
Yeah.
So next year it'll be
Can go back
back
down.
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can get 1,300.
Pardon?
I said, then you can get 1,300 next
Yeah,
year.
next year.
Make you feel good. Well, if there is. one.
Well, I might not, you never know.
If there isn't.
Somebody may. Barb's shop, Barb's problem.
You, make a note of that so that somebody gets that money back.
Yeah, but it.
Hands.
Duncan back there.
Duncan's back there, he can work on it.
Mangled and I will still.
That's true.
We will remember, he'll use his stamp that says the document doesn't exist.
Yeah, I could save you a stand.
Anything else?
I'm okay with this one.
That's all I had.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Andrew,
Andrew,
19,
take us home.
page 19.
You have Andrew with IT, information technology.
This one's.
Before Andrew gets started, we made a little change to the budget. I don't know if you saw that. We kind of copied the building and grounds projects. So there's a separate tab behind his budget
Oh, okay.
where
Next page.
there's special project 1, special project 2, special project 3. And Andrew's gone in and detailed all of those line items out. So that we know. Yes.
Okay, so it's on the back of the page you have, so it's 8, 19 and 20. Yes, that's
But
it.
it's not listed as special project.
No, it just.
So that's
project.
just being more in detail on those special project lines. That's what actually projects are in those lines.
But they're in this. also.
They're in that budget,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, you'll see the lines down, special project 1, 2, and 3 towards the bottom.
oh, yeah, okay. That's
all of
totals from the
those-
back of the page. Okay.
All those numbers are summarized in detail on that second page.
Thank you.
Right, and it looks like we're missing one of the projects off the one that you just had pulled up on there. For the dispatch radio consulate. So I got the number for that as 170K.
Say again.
Where's that going?
$170,000 for the dispatch radio consulettes.
What is it?
Oh,
What is that?
the number, you just need to put the number in under the 350,
Yeah.
170. You said 170.
Oh, we're on that page?
170.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the 350.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Difference is too big to fit.
Sorry. All right.
What?
We're like hurting
We knew
cats
this
up
one
here, I
would be
think.
big.
Yeah, well.
It's what we get for computers.
Yeah.
All the money they're saving.
And time.
All right. Do you want me to start going through it or do
Yeah,
you
go
guys
ahead,
have
start.
questions?
We'll just start from the telephone and still on down.
Okay, let's see. So on our telephone services, you'll see that we were able to cut a bit of money on that one. Or sorry,
No.
hang on,
You
I
added.
got the wrong one. Gee. Okay, no, the telephone, it went up a bit. And that was due to price increase and some additional services. We're in the process of attempting to cut some of those telephone services and move them to different technology that will save money, but that hasn't happened yet. I'm actually waiting on a quote for what the hardware costs will be to migrate our telco from a PRI circuits to SIP circuits. And supposedly that we'd be able to drop between $20,000 and $40,000 a year on telephone service fees from that. Of course, there'll be initial costs to put that in. But what we're hoping is to get it done as soon as possible, so that way we can start seeing the savings. But right now the budget is set up if we didn't get that done. So it's projected on what the cost is to maintain the telephone system as is. So that, but as far as the price increase, that's just due to a few services that did have to get added and then price increases on existing stuff. Let's see here. On our computer and tech equipment hardware, there's not a huge difference on that one.
We have a bit of concerns over price increases. So we've gotten some quotes recently from some of the vendors that we get our servers from. They said if we don't lock in and purchase in the next few weeks, there's going to be a 30% increase on hardware costs. That's from the shortage on RAM and solid state drives due to the data centers, due to the AI boom. So this is what we're thinking costs might be, but when we actually get around to getting to pull the trigger on those projects, the prices might be significantly larger.
Well, so, Mr. Chair, then is this consistently every year approximately the same cost for hardware?
That was what we had.
I mean, your budget reflects near what you had last year, but you didn't spend that. And is there carryover because you didn't receive it? I mean,
there's carryover. There's projects that we need to be doing, and we haven't had time to get to those projects. So then there's carryover. So it wasn't that we got a good deal or we're able to put those off. Yeah, so the hardware budget is off of, or is kind of based off of, like, these are systems that need to be replaced to, be doing it in a timely manner.
Budget stayed the same, but I mean, for the last 2 years, you have spent almost 100,000 less in that department, in that line.
Yeah, because each year it's like we need to get these replaced and then we haven't had time. And I think we've had a few discussions about, like, with this carryover, is that a reflection on, do we need to get additional staff to be getting this stuff done? And like, I think I mentioned that.
Real quick, I mean, to save me asking it again, is this true through the software as equipment as well?
On some of the software, yes. Yeah, where there was unspent money in the software, there's certain systems that need to be updated, and we weren't able to get to those this past year. Yeah, so if we there is a jump on the software budget over last year, and that is we want to get the email server replaced. We've talked about whether that's moving to the cloud or doing another on-premise server. So either way, it's going to be a significant amount of money. So the last time that we did the server upgrade was, I think we purchased it fiscal year 2021. So it's been a number of years since we bought the last server and all the licensing associated with it. Okay. Probably no questions about the GIS software. Any questions on the tech hardware maintenance? Okay, so software maintenance. The reason why there's a large increase on that one is some of the softwares that we procured under the special project to meet cybersecurity insurance requirements. Those were purchased under the special project, and then now moving forward to maintain those, we've rolled those into our regular budget. So that special project budget is for adding in some new systems and whatnot to meet those requirements. And now that we've rolled them in, now we have to maintain them, and then we roll those into the regular budget line item. So that 60K was part of the MFA that we've now rolled out, the advanced EDR and AV protections and some other softwares along those lines. Internet service, we were able to, that's the one that we were able to save some money on over previous years. We've been able to cut and consolidate some of our infrastructure. And we hope to do that moving forward this coming year as well. Obviously, there's a lot of technologies that we're able to employ that that is able to save us money with our internet bills, but of course that takes time and stuff to implement them. So it's kind of a catch-22 with sometimes we got to spend money to be able to implement a new type of technology that then ends up saving us money. And our education and training, most of this is supposed to be offset by a grant So if we get, we've run through part of the training this past budget year, then the grant ends this fall. So if we have time to send people to some additional training, we can do that. And that's what that money's earmarked for. So if we spend it, we're gonna get it reimbursed from the grant, that cybersecurity grant that we got. If we don't spend it by this fall, then it won't be spent, period. But, and I'm not sure what the timeline is on the reimbursement as far as like if it takes months or however long, but we won't be spending the money if we aren't able to get that training done within the timeline for the grant.
Mr. And it is 100%.
Yes, yeah. So last year, I think we had 40K in that account, and then the year before that, I think we had 0. But we got to introduce the 40K last year for the grant that we got.
Chair Andrew, is that the only grant that we usually get, or income coming into IT?
The last time we had a grant, occasionally we'll get grants to do projects for the sheriff's office, like something like radios. I think 10 years ago we had a grant to do some backup servers. But the other grant that's pending right now is the for the MFA. And so that's all due this fall. And so I think we were getting, I forget exactly how much back for that.
It would be a little simpler for us if there was maybe even a line item where there is an income, so it doesn't just say you're spending this money, that a grant could be coming in.
They do have income lines.
There is an income line?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's not one for grant, they have just an IT revenue line that money would go in to offset their expenses. Be identified as IT specifically. We've done that kind of for all departments over the last couple of years.
So that's in the general budget.
Revenue.
I guess we can jump into the special projects. Sure. All right. So I think the last, 4 or 5 years or so, we've had the special project 1, or the cybersecurity insurance compliance project. And I think we've slowly been bringing that amount down as we've gotten more and more stuff marked off that list. Right now, we're just asking for 125,000 to go toward that this year. Let's see here. The other projects, we consolidated all the ones that are at the sheriff's office right now. So we have the dash and vehicle cams project. That would be the last phase of the 3-phase project of, we did the body cams and then the MDTs. And then there's the vehicle cams. Varian might want to speak a little bit to that one. You guys got any questions on that?
Yes, and this, whether it's something applicable now or when I talked about earlier with personnel being above equipment, we've discussed different initiatives, and the dash cams, while they could be helpful, the body cams and the MDTs have been very successful with the patrol deputies. Dash cams, they're somewhat limited in the advantages it gives you versus what we do when we're out there on county roads, and we're usually not near our vehicle. Again, for troopers, I could see that being very positive because a lot of their interactions are around their vehicles. But a body cam for us, that is a big plus. So if it were something where the dash cams are taken away and trying to focus on retaining personnel over the equipment, that definitely would be something we'd push for, whether it's our 2-year longevity plan, different things, any kind of bump for sheriff's office personnel. So that's just the one thing to add for dash cam from sheriff's office perspective.
I guess I just have a question then with what you just said. Andrew, you said this is the last phase of a 3-phase project. Are these dash cams the last phase? Were there other things that we did, or are we done with a third of the dash cams. I mean, where are we at?
Phase 3 is in, I think, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, the board had asked that the sheriff's department have body cams and dash cams in the vehicles. And so I think we got initial quotes and it was like, that's a lot of money all at once. So we split it out to 3 years. So this would be the last phase of that.
And this is only the dash cams. We haven't done anything with.
No, we've done, no, we've done all the other steps.
Okay.
So this is the last piece of it.
Okay.
But as Varian said, this isn't required to be done. All the other pieces are up and running.
Okay. I got
And it could be pushed out.
Yes, and to add on what Andrew mentioned, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, the dash cam when Connors had, when we purchased these body cams, part of it was we did kind of an upgrade so that it could be compatible with the different other things like dash cam or in-car cam. So, because otherwise our previous quote was just for a base level, like it would just record and that's it, but it couldn't be compliant with any future upgrades. So the dash cam was an idea put in there as well for if we so chose to do it, the existing body cam or other technology, they were compatible with each other. So that's part of why it was phased in.
So I'm still kind of confused. The dash cams haven't been started.
No.
They were part 3.
Right.
They aren't like partially started.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
So like Varian saying, that's on the table to
To move.
be
if-
postponed if he so
comes to-
chose.
And if I understood him correctly, they would just as soon worry more about personnel than
Yes.
the dash cams.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
But from a tech perspective, this is what the plan was, but
Okay.
it can be. pushed back.
So that would be 195,000.
Mhm.
The other line on here is the detention secure electronics replacements. So that this year we did a lot of the backbone electronics, PLCs and the intercom system in the jail. That's still being wrapped up today. And so I was gonna have to ask for we have the money set aside to do that, but obviously we haven't gotten the final bill for that, so that'll be pushed into next budget year. So I think it's $187,000. That obviously it'll be turned in because we didn't spend it, but we'll need to be spending that next year. So that's not included with that 500,000. That 500,000 is to do other systems in the detention center. So detention center was opened in January, February of 2006. Most of the electronic systems have been live since then. And so there's a number of systems that still need to be upgraded that, have been problematic in the last few years. So we'd like to continue to be able to do that this coming year. And then these other 2 items here, the dispatch radio consoles and the dispatch radio consolettes. Originally, I didn't realize that it had gotten broke out into 2 separate quotes. I was under the impression that all this was gonna be one project, but this is basically the software side of things and then the hardware side of things. And the last consolette upgrade that was done was, I think it was 2014 or 2015. So the radio consoles are going on 11, 12 years old, and we're starting to have hardware failures on those. Those are the radios that the dispatch uses for 911 calls and dispatching. Yep.
Is any part of this payable by the city?
Yes.
Are we talking 50% if it's dispatcher? I can't remember what the contract is, but it's
It's
30 or 50.
We just did it. We just renewed it.
Right, but I don't remember the exact.
I don't know.
Last
if
time we did
I don't
that,
know if they
we-
thought about this year. They used to do it by airtime,
Okay,
but I know the past it's 50%.
Okay.
Match.
And then the-
50%, they did 50, we did 50.
of expenses. Yeah.
In the past, we billed them monthly for that over a 3-year period.
Yeah, that's what they did with 7 years.
Was it 7?
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
do pay part of it, I guess is my point. So is this the total or is this just the county portion?
This is the total.
Okay.
And we would we would have to pay the total no matter what.
I understand.
And then we would presumably be reimbursed some
And-
portion.
And if I remember correctly, the sheriff took this to the chief and they were in agreement.
Right, it's just whether the city has the funds at once or
And I thought
over
that
time.
They already approved it.
Okay, Cool,
I don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they approved it.
cool.
What I don't know though is if it was just approved just to do the radio consoles.
Okay.
So that might just be the 350.
Okay.
So we need to figure that out.
So.
Well, let's say
Mr.
that's
Chair, with that,
125.
is the estimated match from the city reflected in the revenue side at all?
It is not at this point.
No.
Would it be if we,
Yeah, once I know how,
For what?
I mean, if it's a lump sum or if it's a monthly over
Yes.
7 years.
doesn't really
We kind
matter,
of need to get,
eventually get it?
Yeah.
yeah, when we get the details, we
With the
can have that revenue, what it actually will be.
So, Mr. Chairman, the other question at the very top of your special projects, the IT cybersecurity insurance complaint. Somewhere I lost, where is that listed on the front page?
It's special project 1.
No.
Yeah, 125.
Yeah.
Special project 1.
Oh, okay.
Are you good? I have a question for Andrew, but I want to make sure. Lloyd's.
Well, okay, but then I'm still confused because you got special project 2.
Which is what we just went over. It's the middle section on that detail page.
1 million.
And what is 3?
So in previous years, we broke out each project got its own project line. This year, we've combined projects to try and keep it like buildings and grounds. So there'll only be 3 special projects. So special project 2 is encompassing a bunch of stuff at the SO.
So in the past, each project was kind of its own, but now we've got so many projects, we've just categorized them in 3 and detailed them out.
Well, I
So
thought
what's
we added
3?
I thought that was.
This year, there's nothing for 3. So like last year, I think we had like the MDT project for the SO as a separate project, and then we had the JO project as a separate project.
So you, on these special projects, you can't really look at the past
Right.
to compare.
Oh, no, I understand. My mistake, I put the 170 as number 3. I
Oh,
thought
okay.
that's what we did earlier. And then, okay. Well, I need to scratch.
Can we go back to special project 2?
Yep.
I got lost on special project 2. Okay, so you said
So
the detention secure electronics replacements. I think that's the line, the 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say there's an additional 187,000 that has to be?
Yeah, and
Is that
that's
in
coming out of the,
Or is it an addition to?
that would be an addition to. So like we had,
You have that somewhere in your budget.
But that's carryover, right?
Right, but it needs to show up in his, but
So I need to go back to special, so
In a different line.
that 187 should be in that 1 point.
so it added on. the-
it was special project 3 last year. Or this, for 25, 26, it was special project 3. And we had $500,000 set for that for last year.
Yeah,
We
okay.
spent 187,000 out, or probably a bit more than that, but under 200,000 out of that.
Okay.
And so we're gonna have over 200,000 carryover.
Yep.
right,
Which is part of that fund, because you had 500, you spent 2, and you're going back to 500.
Okay.
So that means you would spend 680,000 total.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That's where I got confused.
We'll be taking the money that was gonna be spent this year, we'll be spending it out of next year's project line.
So you're
Plus
carrying
587.
carrying over 300,000, but then you added another 200,000 to make it the 500 this year. That's the way it's
reading, so
Oh,
if
okay.
that's not true.
Then
you
I would
have
need to add
you have
another.
to add another 180,000.
Okay.
The detention secure electronics replacement, that's a whole new project for next year, right?
Yeah.
So we need 500,000 for new things that haven't been done yet or have been built out.
Mm-hmm.
So then what we still are anticipating on building that's finished up this year, we need to add
187.
on top of the 500, because that 500 needs to be for a future project.
Okay.
That is yet to be done. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So we need to add.
So that 1,045,000,
ex-
that bottom number doesn't reflect the 170.
Yeah, yeah, because we were anticipating getting the bill for that a few weeks ago, but they still haven't finished, so we haven't signed off and gotten the final bill.
So where would that 180 go?
I guess, and then we would put that in project 2.
So it would add to the 500? Or it's a separate line?
I mean,
Separate project, isn't it?
One left.
You're not going the right direction.
that's the final.
No,
But some of that could go down because we don't know if the city is gonna pay for
Right.
half of the dispatch radio consoles, right?
175,000.
The cost will stay there, the revenue would go up,
Right,
Okay,
right.
but if it's payable over 7 years like last time.
then it's not gonna go up very much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if this next year goes anything like this last year, we might get a contractor on the hook to do the work, but it might not happen until next budget year.
So you added 180, what was that?
Carry over.
They carry over the, yeah, so we paid for half of last year's project, but it hasn't been completed yet. Yeah, intercoms and the door control.
It's
What do
been
you call it,
completed, but the
intercoms?
invoice hasn't come.
It's not, they're still working on it.
Oh.
Like the tech is coming back on site on Thursday to hopefully get things wrapped up.
Detail.
So I'm gonna put it intercoms half from 25.
What are you gonna put? I don't know how to describe that.
Intercoms. It's the rest of the intercom project.
Docket needs every new cell.
Right. Right.
And it's 180.
Yeah.
It's systems that use 24/7, 365.
And so that bumps that to
1,395.
Intercom and door controls.
So that goes up here.
See why it's been 20 years since it was replaced.
So the grand total goes up too.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you get on the grand, Steve?
Anything else?
Go back.
slightly different subject. What did you, I never got a response back from you on the TCT block.
Oh, so I was waiting to the end of the week to see if how many other people weighed in. It's
My
bottom
question
number.
though, is that why I'm not able to get through?
It could be, we'd have to get with TCT and like look at your specific phone number, which wouldn't be too hard for us to do.
Can they look at it as a specific carrier? Because I'm not the only one from Clark, but our carrier there goes into Montana and then back
Yeah,
out.
yeah, with
and it-
Nemont.
And I'm not the only one getting blocked, and in my opinion, and the commissioners right here, I think we need to decide. We can't be not having people not be able to get a hold of the county.
Right now, the plan was, I was kind of waiting to hear if anyone else weighed in, but opening it up and see if we're totally inundated with spam calls. If not, then we just leave it open.
That's just part of life anymore. I'm sorry. I mean, if you have to answer a spam call or screen them in order to get every constituent person that needs to get a hold of the county. I understand it's a problem, but I'm not gonna make Barb's job so much easier and neglect a portion of our people that need to call the treasurer.
Yeah, I mean, we run into the same issue with email as well, where some people's emails do get blocked. And so it's like we try to work through that on a case by case basis, but if we just open it up to receiving anything and everything, then we'd be.
You got 3 spams just sitting here since lunch.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, the one question I've had is why, and I'll use Jeremiah Ryman as an example, half of his stuff comes through and the other half goes to junk.
Yeah.
So a lot of email providers now use rotating servers that are in the cloud. So when they send you an email, it could come from a server in Seattle, or it'll come from Colorado, or come from Europe.
Okay.
So like by default, we're not allowing traffic here from outside the US. So we have to create special exceptions for each email server. That's a lot of work. And sometimes
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we need to get it done. People in Park County need to be able to call their courthouse.
Yeah. So this is the first time that we even realized that that was what was going on. So that's why I was like, hey, this is what's going on. We asked for people. to
I
pay
understand
from it.
that, but I
Yeah.
contacted you over a month ago with this problem, and I still can't call you from a landline. And I'm not the only person, so. I don't know what needs to be done, but people need to be able to reach the courthouse.
What
Or
message does it give you?
it just rings and rings and rings, and then if you, once in a while, you'll get some generic recording that doesn't even allow you to leave a message.
Oh,
Weird.
Andrew, is that probably why Tyler Tech can't get through half the time because of the way it's coming through from our different parts of the.
Well, that's the email, but the phone calls, that's separate. Like, we don't have any spam blocks here, like on site. It's by the provider. So like the provider offers that service, and like we didn't even realize it was turned on.
Or whatever to get through, because there's no phone number, so I was wondering, because they're all over the United States now, they're not.
No, I think that people getting marked as spam, it just kind of depends. So like with Tyler Tech, like since they probably have like a 1-800 number, stuff like that.
Smart to spam on.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you're gonna, I mean, you gotta answer it no matter what it says.
Yeah, when it says potential spam. Yeah, so that's the caller ID, which is delivered by our telco provider. So, but yeah, we'll look into opening that up then.
Anything else, Andrew?
I don't think so.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
It for today. Yeah.
Anybody got anything else?
Mango?
we're just recessed till tomorrow, right?
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, we don't have to adjourn.
We don't have to adjourn.
Been a long day.
Yeah, if I got
Now I gotta go get an excavator out of the hole.
I gotta go get some food.
Show you something.
I'll just leave this.
What I'm doing, I'm just putting the pages in here.
Crackers and.
Well, Joyce, she was pretty brave to keep us into our lunch hour and then come in.
Because you probably. I brought something there, but it's like.
Oops, I got my bag.